Welcome everybody out to Patterson Field on the campus of Mingus Union High School for tonight's Monday night baseball matchup as the Mingus Marauders take on the Winslow Bulldogs. I'm Philip Catafamo. Happy to have you along with me wherever you may be here on Verde Valley TV. The Marauders are looking to snap a 7-game losing streak here tonight against 3A East Region Winslow High School. The Bulldogs come into this game off of back-to-back wins. One against Sanchez of the in the more northern part of the state, and one in Payson. So back-to-back victories for Winslow coming into this game. Whereas the Marauders, as I mentioned, they got swept by Bradshaw last week, so their attention is here on a non-region game. They would love to get a victory here against a 3A powerhouse in the Winslow Bulldogs, who come into this game 8-3 overall, 5-2 in the region. The Marauders, you can flip that overall record. They're 3-8, and overall, and in the region they are 2-6. But Coach Quesada says that he was happy about the performance the Marauders gave on Friday. We will talk about that. We will get you the national anthem. We will get you the starting lineups, and we will have first pitch right here on Verde Valley TV. Stay with us. It's Marauders taking on the Bulldogs right here. Stay with us.
All Price Insurance on Main Street in Cottonwood is your local insurance provider for personal and commercial insurance. Call and compare 23 insurance companies for home, health, auto, RV, motorcycle, boat, or ATV. Specialty insurance and insurance bonds are no problem at All Price Insurance. Call or visit All Price Insurance today.
Accidents happen. Red Rock Collision knows that your car is the second largest investment you're likely to make. For over 15 years, Red Rock Collision has been there to negotiate for you, the customer, not the insurance company. John and his staff promise quality repair with honesty and integrity. You can rest easy now. They'll return your car as safe as the day it was built.
Welcome back to Patterson Field here on the campus of Mingus Union High School. Philip Catafamo, happy to have you along with me wherever you may be. You can see the Winslow Bulldogs warming up. They are getting ready for their matchup against these Mingus Marauders. The Marauders coming into this one 3-8 overall, 2-6 in the region. Trying to break a 7-game losing streak. Just got swept by Bradshaw. We'll talk about that in a second. But let's take a look at these Winslow Bulldogs. They are a 3A team out of the East region. Coach Art Griffith in his final season with the team. He will be retiring after this year. Got a chance to speak with Coach Griffith. He is incredibly nice and a great guy, and we wish him nothing but the best here at Verde Valley TV as he retires after, I believe he said, almost 50 years of coaching combined. So an impressive resume. I know he's done a lot for the area in Winslow. So Coach Griffith, congratulations and best of luck on retiring. But here today, as I mentioned, the Bulldogs coming into this game 8-3 overall, 5-2 in the region. They've got a game against Payson coming up. They were able to beat Alchese High School on last Tuesday, so that would have been April 13th. 11-5 victory for the Bulldogs in that one. Torrin Dick, the junior, 3 for 4, 2 RBIs, 1 double, and a triple in that win against Alchese. Aiden Fahala, 2 for 3 with 1 double in that one as well. Zane Corum, 1 for 2, 2 RBIs, a triple, and a walk for the senior. And Torrin Dick and Storm Chin, I'm going to mess up this name, I'm just going to say it now. Chinley, which I know I already said wrong, but for the senior, I apologize. 4 innings pitched, 3 hits, 3 runs, 2 earned runs, 4 strikeouts for the senior pitcher. And Torrin Dick in relief, 3 innings pitched, 1 hit allowed, 2 runs, 1 walk, and 6 strikeouts. We will see on the mound for for Winslow, not Lee Williams. We will see on the mound George Smith. Smith coming into this game looking to continue the strong strong play of recently for Winslow. They're riding a 4-game winning streak. Smith comes into this game with a 6 ERA, so he's trying to reduce that here tonight. 7 innings pitched, 5 hits allowed, 6 earned runs, and 5 strikeouts for the senior pitcher. Coach Griffith telling me they've got 4 games on the schedule this week. So obviously they're going to be wrapping up their series against Payson. They got a couple games going forward after that. And Coach Griffith letting me know that it's going to be more of a kind of pitching consensus tonight. They're going to be saving a couple of their guys for their region games. They got a game against Snowflake. They got a game against Payson. Those are both region games. So Coach Griffith going with the senior. We'll see what George has in store for the Marauders. The Marauders, as I mentioned, coming into this game, losing on Tuesday against Bradshaw 18-7. A tough game for the Marauders at home. Trey Peters in that game, though, the middle of the lineup was working very, very well for the Marauders, and it's led by Trey Peters. He went 3 for 3 with a double and an RBI in that one. Zack Harrison, 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs and an inside the park home run. A lot of fun to watch Zack get that Little League home run last week against Bradshaw. Ryan Lindsay, 1 for 2 with 1 RBI and a double. Jan Alvarez, who we will see on the mound tonight, looking to bounce back from a very, very tough outing. 3 1/3 innings pitched, 9 hits, 13 runs, 5 of them earned, 5 walks, and 3 strikeouts on 96 pitches. A very, very rough game for the Marauders in a high-scoring affair, though, 18-7, but unfortunately it went in the way of Bradshaw. So Coach Quesada, they came back on Friday. Unfortunately, the Marauders did lose. A little bit closer, though. I did get a chance to speak with Coach Quesada before the start of the game. He told me he liked how the team played. He got some compliments about the guys' fight. They found themselves down early, 3-0. They worked it back. Unfortunately, they did lose 3-5, but Coach Quesada was very, very happy with the fight his team had, and he's hoping that they can carry that here tonight against Winslow as the Marauders look for a victory. The last time these two teams played, it's been a couple years, hasn't been too long. The last time these two teams played, 2017-2018 season, the Marauders were able to beat Winslow in that one 15-1 at home. But of course, a different year, same coaches, but a different season here for both teams as, we kind of come down at the end of this pandemic. But it's been a while since these two teams have seen each other. They're getting reacclimated, and we should be in for an absolute fun baseball game. As I mentioned, Jan Alvarez on the mound for the Marauders, looking to bounce back from a tough start last week on Tuesday here at home. Trey Peters pitched well on Friday. Coach Quesada was letting me know. He said, if need be, considering that they have more non-region games this week, Coach Quesada was saying if need be, we could see Trey Peters on the mound tonight. But Coach Quesada going with Jan Alvarez. Alvarez on the mound for Mingus. And like I mentioned, Jan just trying to bounce back from a bit of a tough outing last week at home against Bradshaw. Jan comes into this game, though, still pitching pretty well. He carries an under 5 ERA, 4.52 right now in 6 appearances. 2 of those games he started, 2 wins, 4 losses for the junior pitcher. Jan, 31 innings pitched, 43 hits allowed, 20 earned runs, and 20 strikeouts. So both pitchers trying to lower those ERAs. Both teams looking for a win. One looking to keep their winning streak, one looking to snap a losing streak. And it is all downhill from here as we wait to see things get started. There are some other sports going on. Of course, the softball team is on the road to take on Winslow as well. There are a couple of the other sports going on around campus. As I mentioned, softball will be on the road to take on Winslow tonight. They will be back at home on Wednesday, April 21st to take on Greenway. You can watch that game right here on Verde Valley TV. Should be a good one as the Marauders look to hopefully stay undefeated. Winslow softball team is having a pretty decent year so far as well, so we'll see what happens in that one tonight. We'll get you the update as that comes in. We'll try to keep you updated during that game. I'm not entirely sure when it starts, but I would assume it starts relatively at the same time as this one. So we will try to get you updates for the softball game, but for right now, we send our best wishes to Coach Brown and the softball team, and hopefully they can get a win against the Bulldogs like the baseball team's looking here tonight. For tennis, the boys and girls are on the road to take on Barry Goldwater tonight. For tennis, the boys coming in 5-6 overall, 3-3 in section. They play in Division II, Section 2. They are not in the region, as opposed to some of our other sports here at Mingus Union High School. But Coach Jake Worseldine was on the most recent episode of Off the Bench, talked a little bit about his journey from England to here in Cottonwood. He is a former Marauder and a longtime tennis player. He got a chance to coach tennis overseas, coach tennis with some professionals. So he's in his first season as the boys tennis coach here at Mingus Union. He's coming back, a former Marauder. So if you want to go check that out, the newest episode of Off the Bench is on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Verde Valley TV. Some of you might be watching the game right now on that link. The girls team will take on Coconino on the road tomorrow to finish out their season. The boys are finishing their season tonight, tonight against Barry Barry Goldwater. So best of luck to Coach Worseldine of the boys tennis team and Coach Andrea Meyer of the girls team. They're both looking for some victories to finish out strong. The track and field team, however, will travel to take on they will travel to Bradshaw High School to compete in a tournament there. Coach Westcott, that'll be on April 24th on Saturday. They'll take on Aquafria, Camp Verde, Chino Valley, and 22 more schools in that one on Saturday. So if you're interested in watching some high school track and field, Bradshaw Mountain High School will be having a little invitational going on this Saturday, April 24th, and then the Marauders will be back at home on the 30th, which is next Friday for the Marauder Lake Qualifier, and that will be the end of the track and field season. Both coaches swapping lineups. Coach Casada on the side of the Marauders, Coach Art Griffith in his final season with the Winslow Bulldogs. And we are excited to see what happens here tonight. The Marauders, as I mentioned, looking to snap a 7-game losing streak, whereas Winslow would love to keep their 4-game winning streak and move it to 5 with a big victory against a much larger school, Winslow the 3A and Mingus the 4A. We'll take you quickly around the diamond for the Winslow Bulldogs, I guess I should say the Mingus Marauders. Over at third base will be the usual Trey Peters. Over at short will be Ryan Lindsay. Over at second, Ben Balo. Over at first base will be Ryan Schamberger. Out in the outfield, Emmett Smith getting the start in left field. In center field, it'll be Jahia Rogers finding his way back to the starting rotation. And Jonathan Sanchez in right field, and the battery of Zack Harrison behind the plate and Jan Alvarez on the mound for Mingus. So as I mentioned, Alvarez trying to bounce back. Marauders looking for a victory, and we'll see if they can get it. The coaches have swapped lineups. They have shake hands, and we are ready to go here. The 1-2-3 for the I keep calling Lee Williams. For the Winslow Bulldogs will be Zane Corum, Jace Lyons, and Justice Martin. That'll be the 1-2-3 for the Bulldogs in this game. And, well, here we are. A little bit more of a calm night in terms of the weather here in Cottonwood, Arizona. Still a little bit breezy, but not too bad as it has been in the past. So the ball won't be carrying as much in the sky, but could catch a little bit of wind later here tonight. So only time will tell what happens in that game. We are just patiently waiting for the start as the Marauders take the field. Jan Alvarez trying to bounce back from that bad starting last week against Bradshaw Mountain, and he'll get his opportunity here against Winslow. Winslow rocking the camo uniforms tonight. I was talking with Coach Griffith and asked him if there's any special occasion. Obviously, where it's not 4th of July, we don't play baseball in July at the high school level, but Coach just said, nope, just part of our uniforms, just one of our many uniforms we have, and I expressed my jealousy because they just look real nice. So the Winslow Bulldogs wearing the camos and the Marauders wearing those sweet new red unis. They're home Reds, and they're looking for a victory in those red unis against the 3A Winslow team. You can see Jan Alvarez warming up for the Marauders. Like I mentioned, it'll be Zane Corum, Jace Lyons, and Justice Martin, the 1-2-3 for the Winslow Bulldogs when they get an opportunity to step up at the plate. And what's interesting, too, and we'll talk a little bit about a few things. Had some nice conversations with Coach Griffith, but I did point out their hats. The Winslow Bulldogs, the logo on the hat is reminiscent of the Washington Nationals. And if you're not really going to be able to see it too much on the broadcast here, but you see a lot of the coaches wearing those pullover jackets, and they've got the Gonzaga, either Gonzaga or Georgetown Bulldog on the chest. So kind of very similar to what we saw with, like, Bradshaw was wearing the Brewers hats. They had the Brewers logo. And then Coconino had the Reds logo. So a lot of crossover here in terms of the MLB to high school connections. But Zane Corum will step in. Corum 1 for 2 RBIs, 1 triple, and a walk in the victory against Alchese last Tuesday. He strides in for his first ever battle against Jan Alvarez. We are underway here at Patterson Field. Alvarez first pitch on the way to Corum. It is popped straight up in the air. We'll see if Harrison can track it down. It will be nobody. So Jan takes a little bit of a spill, but he's okay. That one will go foul. Schamberger and Harrison fighting for it over in foul territory, but none of them make the catch. So Corum will stride back in with an 0-1 count. And he'll get another opportunity here. So 0-1 count here to Corum. 0-0 our score here in the top of the first inning. Alvarez, the 0-1 offering on the way. Off-speed pitch is a little high. The count will go to 1-1. Corum awaiting the 1-1 here. Alvarez, the windup and the pitch. 1-1, ground ball right to Peters. Peters throw on to first. A little high, but not any problem for Ryan Schamberger. Out number 1 for the Marauders on the 5-3. Very similar start for Jan, much like last time against Bradshaw, was able to get Ryan Buckle to ground out in the first inning. His first batter he faced, and he does the same thing to Zane Corum. And now Jace Lyons will step in. Lyons 2 for 3 in the win against Payson last Friday as he strides in for his first opportunity against Jan Alvarez. First one on the way is smacked foul. So the count will go to 0-1. Beautiful day here in Cottonwood, Arizona. Some clear skies. Like I mentioned, there is some wind coming from behind me going more towards left field, so we'll see if that plays a factor today, but it's nothing crazy. The 0-1 is in the dirt. The count will go to 1-1. So 1-1 count here to Jace Lyons, the center fielder for the Winslow Bulldogs. Alvarez, the 1-1 on the way. That one's in the dirt. Now the count will go to 2-1. Alvarez trying to get that off speed going early. Trying to get a few of these Bulldogs swinging in front of that off speed pitch, the 2-1. That one does find the strike zone, and the count will go to 2-2. So now a 2-2 count here to Lyons. Alvarez looking for his first K and his second out of this inning. We'll see if he can get it here. The 2-2 offering on the way. Off speed runs a little high and inside. The count will go full now, 3-2. So 3-2 count here to Jace Lyons. No one on, one down for the Marauders, looking for out number 2, possibly strikeout number 1. The 3-2 is swung on and missed. They will get the strikeout for out number 2, the first K for Jan Alvarez this afternoon. It'll bring up Justice Martin, the catcher for Winslow, will get an opportunity with no one on and 2 down. So Alvarez able to get Lyons swinging on that off-speed pitch. Martin striding in now, looking to be the first base runner for the Winslow Bulldogs here. Alvarez, first offering on the way. That one is in the left, but it will go foul. The count will go to 0-1. Martin gets a piece of it, but it goes just a little too far left. So an 0-1 count here. Second offering on the way. Martin watches that one all the way in, hits the inside corner, and the count will go to 0-2. Alvarez looking for a 1-2-3 inning, and it is a good position right now to do it with an 0-2 count. Pitch on the way to Martin. Off speed, got him again. That's 2 Ks for Alvarez on the off-speed pitch. Throw down to first is good. Back-to-back strikeouts for Alvarez ends the top of the first. We'll head to the bottom of the first inning. The Marauders looking to get some runs of their own. Stay with us.
From the Merkin farm to your table, from their vines to your glass. Merkin Vineyards Tasting Room in Osteria, a sense of place for extended family and community. The Merkin mission is to deliver a total sustainable Arizona experience with fruits and vegetables family farmed in the Verde Valley and vines grown on Arizona Merkin acreage. Pastas and breads made from scratch and served with daily seasonal specials. Keep an eye out for the Merkin pizza and gelato wagons using the same local ingredients.
Balancing your family, finances, and future is a lot of responsibility. Let Jennifer Griffin and her team at State Farm help. Jennifer Griffin is an Arizona native and a Mingus graduate, as well as a third-generation State Farm agent, serving you in the same Main Street location for over 35 years. Jennifer Griffin and her team want to wish all of the Mingus athletes the best of luck this season. Go Marauders! Jennifer Griffin and State Farm Insurance, here to help life go right.
George Smith will step on the mound for the Winslow Bulldogs. Smith coming into this game looking for a win. The senior pitcher getting an opportunity here, as I mentioned before we got started. Also do want to welcome you back here to Patterson Field on the campus of Mingus Union High School on Verde Valley TV. Our score currently 0-0 as the Mingus Marauders get their opportunity here in the bottom of the first inning. As I mentioned, Smith, the senior, only 2 appearances so far this season. A 6 ERA so far in 7 innings pitched. He allowed 6 runs, had 8 walks, and 5 strikeouts in that game. He will get an opportunity to face Jan Alvarez, Ben Balo, and Trey Peters here in the bottom of the first first inning. It was a 1-2-3 inning for the Mingus Marauders in the top of the first inning. We'll see if Jan Alvarez can get things started offensively for Mingus as they face the defensive side of things of Winslow. Torrin Dick over at third base, Zane Corum at short, Tegan Chacon at second, Chris Aureliano over at first. In the outfield will be Sonny Wilbanks over in left, Jace Lyons in center, Aiden Fahala in right field, and the battery, George Smith and Justice Martin behind the dish for the Winslow Bulldogs. As I mentioned, Jan Alvarez leading things off for the Marauders. Alvarez did pretty well in his game against Bradshaw last week in terms of offense. Jan did get on all 3 times, scored twice, went 2 for 2, and had a hit by pitch and scored in every time he got on. So Coach Alvarez moving Jan a little bit more up in the lineup tonight. We'll see him leading things off against George Smith. The senior and the junior battle will get underway as Smith gives Alvarez his first offering. That one is in for a strike, and the count will go to 0-1. So an 0-1 count early on to Jan Alvarez here in the bottom of the first inning. Second pitch on the way. That one's in the dirt, and the count will go to 1-1. So now a 1-1 count here to Alvarez. No one on, no outs here in the bottom of the first inning. Marauders looking to get things going here offensively. A 1-2-3 inning from the batter. That is Jan Alvarez as it goes in the dirt. Count will go to 2-1. Alvarez 2 strikeouts and a ground out in the top of the first inning. And now he gets his first offensive opportunity here against George Smith. He's ahead in the count right now, 2-1. Smith trying to work his way back to even. Alvarez looking for something to piece up. The 2-1. Alvarez into center field. He finds it into center left field. It'll fall. Alvarez will round first. He's thinking 2. Lyons the relay throw. Nope, that's going to keep Alvarez over at first base. It is a leadoff single for the junior, and the Marauders have their first base runner of the first inning, bringing up Ben Balo. What a nice hit from Jan Alvarez. You can see right there, he rounds first base, and oh, wait a minute, hang on. Jace Lyons made a good throw, so I got to go all the way back to first base. So Alvarez finds his way to first with a leadoff single, and now Ben Balo will stride in. Come on, Ben, let's go, baby. Balo looking to move Alvarez into scoring position or possibly bring him into score. Balo coming into this game batting .240, looking to improve his average, the freshman. First one on the way. He'll show bunt, pull back, and watch that one go in for a strike. Count will go to 0-1. Did get a chance to speak with his grandfather, John, who is one of the assistant coaches here. Kind of one of the first chances I've actually gotten to speak with Coach Balo. Nice guy. Been around the Marauder program for years. Was a longtime assistant with Coach Young. Came back to help Coach Casada, and he's still here. Chopper will go foul, and the count will go to 0-2. I was asking John about Ella, his granddaughter, and Ben, his grandson, and he's very proud of both of them, and told me that when Ben got an opportunity to play at the high school level that he was going to let Ben prove his time. He said, don't put him on the varsity level just because I'm the assistant coach. I want Ben to earn it. And I'll tell you what, Ben has earned it as a freshman. Like I mentioned, batting .240 so far. He's been a fixture at second base. He awaits that pitch. It'll go foul. The count will go to 0-2. So Ben, a very bright future here at Mingus Union High School, and he's got his grandfather on the staff, a sister playing over on the softball field, his older sister, and I'll tell you what, he's earned his time. Sharing time in second, played a little right field during the Bradshaw game, and I think we've seen Ben on the mound once or twice. But he strides in here, 0-2 count as he fouls off that last one. Still no one out. Alvarez over at first. Balo waiting the 0-2 offering from Smith. Smith with a quick move to first, throws it into the net, and Alvarez will advance on the overthrow. We'll see if he takes third. He's going to stay at second. And so Alvarez gets over to second base on the overthrow. And we take a look at that. I think Alvarez could have made it to third, but he stays at second. As the first baseman, that was Erliano over at first. He had to track that one down. So Balo awaiting the 0-2. That one will go in the dirt. It gets past the catcher, and now Alvarez will move to third. Count will go to 1-2. And now Balo with an opportunity here, 1-2 count. And a runner on third. Trey Peters waiting on deck. 1-2 count. Balo looking to square something up as well. Alvarez able to get a base hit on a 2-1 count. Belo on the 1-2. We'll see what he can do. It'd be really funny if he put it into center right field, as Alvarez's hit was into left center. So we'll see if opposites attract here on the 1-2 count. Pitch on the way from Smith. It is in the dirt. The count will go to 2-2. Alvarez will advance and score on the pass ball. And the Marauders have their first run, and now Ben Belo will look to just get on. So Alvarez comes in and score. The Marauders now lead 1-0, and Ben Belo will look to be the first base runner here as Alvarez is able to come in and score. So 2-2 count here as Belo looks for something to drive. The 2-2. Belo's slow chopper, but it'll go foul. So the count will remain 2-2. Belo awaiting the 2-2 here from Smith. The pitch on the way. It'll be golfed out, but it'll go foul. Belo doing his best Tiger Woods impression on that last swing, but it goes foul. The count will remain 2-2.
The ball fair. Oh, babe, base knock, kid. Keep it up.
So now a 2-2 count here to Ben Belo. Nobody on as Alvarez found his way from first, got to second, then to third, then came in to score. And now Belo looking to be a base runner here, the 2-2. Belo will watch that one in the dirt. Good block by the catcher, Martin, to keep that one in front of him. Of course, wouldn't have done anything had it gone behind him, but does bring up the full count here to Ben Belo. 3-2 count, 3 balls, 2 strikes. No outs and no one on. Mingus leading 1-0. Belo awaits the 3-2, the pitch. Watches that one. Backwards K, the first strikeout for Smith tonight. He rings up Belo, and now Trey Peters will step in with one down. Now, Belo thought that one was maybe a little too inside, but the home plate umpire thinks differently. So Belo goes down on strikes, and now Trey Peters will step in. Peters 3 for 3 in that loss against Bradshaw. 1 double and an RBI for the senior third baseman. He'll get his first opportunity here against George Smith. First one on the way is in the dirt, and the count will go to 1-0. Peters does lead the team in batting average. Or I guess he's second place behind Jahia Rogers, but batting .361 so far with 13 hits. The 1-0 is away, and the count will go to 2-0. So a 2-0 count here as Peters looks for something to drive. Belo going down on strikes, just a batter before the 2-0. I want to go high and away, and now the count will go to 3-0. So now a 3-0 count here to Trey Peters. 1 down for the Bulldogs. Peters looking to drive something into the outfield. Had some good success against Bradshaw last week, the 3-0. He'll watch that one away. It'll be ball 4. And Peters will look to take off to second, but he will stay at first as Martin has to go track down the loose ball. So no damage done as Peters stays on first with the 1-out walk. And now Zack Harrison will step in. Harrison also had a good game against Bradshaw on Tuesday. Went 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs and an inside-the-park home run for the junior catcher. And we'll see what Peters can do here. Runner on first, that's Troy Peters. Double play still a possibility for the Bulldogs here to try to get out of the inning. 1 down. First one on the way to Harrison is popped up, and it will go foul. Got a hold of that one. Unfortunately, it is way too far right, and the count will go to 0-1. Just a little bit more left, Zach, and it would have went over the fence. So they'll go track down that foul ball and corral it. And now we'll see Harrison again striding in with the runner over at first. 1 down for the Bulldogs. Harrison looking to keep the inning going for the Marauders. Second pitch is away, and the count will go to 1-1, excuse me. I'm not sure how much of a threat Trey Peters is to steal, but I'd love to see him do it. especially with Harrison at the plate. 1-1 count to Harrison, the pitch. That one is away, and the count will go to 2-1. So 2-1 count here to Harrison with a runner on first, one down. Harrison awaiting the 2-1 offering, the pitch. That one is high. Now the count will go to 3-1. So far, some good plate discipline from the Marauders. They are making Smith work early on. A 2-1 count to Alvarez, a full count to Balo. Of course, that did result in a strikeout. A 3-0 count to Peters, of course, resulted in a walk. And now a 3-1 count to Harrison. So the Marauders doing a good job of making Smith pitch to him. The 3-1 is high and away. It'll be back-to-back walks, and the Marauders have runners on second and first. That'll bring up Ryan Schamberger. Schamberger also had a big single against Bradshaw last week. And we'll get a courtesy runner for the catcher. Carter Welly will go in pinch run for Zach. Zach will get an opportunity to grab some water and throw on the catcher's gear and get ready for the top of the second inning. Schamberger stepping in. Again, runners on second and first. One down for the Bulldogs. Double play still a possibility here. Smith takes a long look at Troy Peters at second. Checks back over the runner, comes back set here in the stretch. The first one on the way to Schamberger is in for a strike. You see a few guys in terms of comfortability. You'll see some guys with no one on or a runner on, bases loaded, whatever the situation may be. They'll work out of the full windup. You can see Smith working more out of the stretch, which you'll see Jan Alvarez do when there's runners on, as Schamberger waits the 0-1, golfs that one right to second base, flip over to second, throw on to first. It is in time. The double play works, and they get out of it. That'll do it here in the first inning. Our score, Marauders 1, Bulldogs 0. We'll head to the top of the second. Stay with us.
From the Glen Canyon Dam to the corner sidewalks, Salt River Materials Group, Phoenix Cement, has helped build Arizona and the Southwest since 1959. Much like the products they provide, Salt River Materials Group, Phoenix Cement, has a strong sense of community and contributes to it in meaningful ways. Phoenix Cement is considered a premier employer and community supporter and would like to thank their friendly neighbors for 6 decades of continued support. Think harder, think concrete.
The mouth is the gateway to the digestive system. Studies indicate a correlation between oral health and full body health. Regular cleanings and checkups can help protect you. New patients are welcome at Arizona Smile Designers in Cottonwood. There's a full smile worth of services all offered under one roof. Whitening and cosmetic to implants and smile reconstruction. Find out more or request an appointment online at azsmiledesigners.com.
Well, it was a 1-2-3 inning for Jan Alvarez and the Mingus Marauders in the top of the first inning. The Marauders able to bring around a run in the bottom of the first inning, and here in the top of the second inning, they lead 1-0. Want to welcome you back here to Patterson Field on the campus of Mingus Union High School, as the Marauders, as I mentioned, currently beating the Winslow Bulldogs 1-0, but the Bulldogs will get their opportunity here in the top of the second inning. It'll be Sonny Wilbanks, Tyson Leonard, and Tegan Chacon. The 1-2-3 for the Bulldogs here in the second inning. Wilbanks was on the mound against Payson in a 3-1 victory. Pitched very, very well as he waits the first offering here from Alvarez. That one goes high and inside. The count will go to 1-0. Wilbanks, 7 innings pitched, 4 hits, 1 run, 1 of them earned, 1 walk, and 8 strikeouts on 97 pitches in a 3-1 victory against Payson last week, as that one goes low, and the count will go to 2-0. Wilbanks does come into this game as he awaits the 2-0. Liner down the line, but it goes foul. The count will go to 2-1. Wilbanks comes into this one with a .333 batting average, 11 hits on 33 at-bats, 17 RBIs, 4 doubles, and 2 triples for the senior as he awaits the 2-1. Off-speed is in the dirt. The count will go to 3-1. So we'll see if Alvarez can work back 3-1. Looking for the first out of the inning. The 3-1 offering, the pitch. It'll be a chopper. Peters bobbles it a little bit, throw on to first. It is in time. What a great play from Trey Peters to stay with that one and get the first out of the inning. And now Tyson Leonard will step in. Well, let's take another look at it. As a hot shot down to third base from Wilbanks, but you don't see it there. But Peters did a great job of keeping that ball in front of him and making that throw over to first in time for the first out. And now we'll see Tyson Leonard take the first pitch in for a strike with one out. Alvarez looking for another 1-2-3 inning here in the second. He's already got one, just needs two more. The 0-1. That'll be a hard swing from Leonard, but it'll go foul. The count will go to 0-2. Leonard, big smile off of that pitch. Wanted to maybe drive it over the fence, but just got on top of it. So now he'll wait the 0-2 offering here from Alvarez. The pitch with one out. Off speed is a slow chopper again. Peters trying to read it off the hop, bobbles it a little bit, throw on to first, is in time as well. Back-to-back groundouts. Trey Peters getting the job done over at third. Two down for the Marauders, and Tegan Chacon will check in. Chacon coming into this game, batting .433, 13 hits, 30 RBIs, 7 runs are batted in, 2 walks, and 1 triple for the sophomore. One of the guys that Coach Griffith was telling me about, they return a relatively younger team next season. And Coach Griffith, even though he won't be with the team next year, was very excited about the future of the program that he will be walking away from. As Chacon takes that one in for a strike, as I mentioned, Coach Griffith will be retiring after this season. And he gets his final opportunity against the Marauders. The 0-1 on the way. It is in the dirt, and the count will go to 1-1. So 2 down for the Marauders. Alvarez looking for another 1-2-3 inning. He's got a 1-1 count here to Chacon. The pitch popped up, and it'll go foul. So 1-2 count here to Chacon. 2 down for the Marauders. Alvarez looking for another strikeout. He will not get it on that pitch as it goes away, and the count will go to 2-2. Alvarez favoring that off-speed pitch, trying to get a few of these Bulldogs out in front swinging. Alvarez got 2 strikeouts so far, looking for number 3 and possibly the third out of this inning. 2-2 count here to Tegan Chacon. The pitch on the way. 2-2, got him looking. It'll be another strikeout for Jan Alvarez. That'll make 3 today so far, and that will be the third out of the top of the second inning. We'll head to the bottom half of the second inning. Marauders will get an opportunity to bat here.
The Suzy Q Market is the most convenient stop for road trips with 1,500 beverage selections and plenty of snacks. And save on fuel with the Marathon Make It Count reward program. The Suzy Q drive-thru window is the most convenient way to stop for those essentials on the way home.
Road trips start here with something for everyone.
At Suzy Q.
Shop local first, always.
Go Marauders!
Lawler Construction has been a premier local builder of custom residential and commercial projects for 36 years. Using green construction methods, Lawler Construction builds efficiency into every custom design. Lawler Construction is a certified Energy Star builder. For examples, visit LawlerConstructionAZ.com. They thank you for your business confidence and continued referrals. Lawler Construction, a proud supporter of baseball and softball at all levels. Look for Lawler Construction homes at Mountain Gate and Clarkdale this summer.
Jonathan Sanchez, Ryan Lindsay, and Emmett Smith are the 1-2-3 for the Marauders here in the bottom of the second inning. Mingus able to bring around a run in the bottom half of the first inning. Jan Alvarez got on with a single, then advanced on a error pickoff move from Smith, and then was able to advance on a pass ball, and then did come around to score in the first inning. Only 1 hit so far allowed from George Smith as he gets his second inning of work. Only faced 5 batters in his last outing, and we'll see what he can do here in the bottom of the second inning. Jonathan Sanchez, the senior, getting the start in right field tonight. We've seen Johnny a couple times, and now he's taking his talents to right field, batting .250 on the season so far. 3 hits, 12 at-bats. Small sample size for Jonathan in his final year here at Mingus, but we'll see what he can do here against Smith as he awaits his first offering from the senior pitcher. The senior to the senior. First one is on the way and in the dirt. And the count will go to 1-0. So Alvarez are now waiting the 1-0 offering here as we kick things off here in the bottom of the second inning. The pitch is in the dirt, and the count will go to 2-0. So a 2-0 count here to Jonathan Sanchez. Pitch on the way. Runs inside, does not hit Sanchez, so he'll wait for the 3-0 here, as that's where the count goes. So Sanchez will still bat. 3-0 count. Sanchez awaiting the pitch here from Smith. Looking to be the first base runner for the Marauders here in the second inning. 3-0. Does find the strike zone, and the count will go to 3-1. So now Sanchez awaiting the 3-1 offering here from Smith. Looking to be the first base runner for the Marauders here in the second. The 3-1 is in the dirt. He'll do just that. He'll get on with a leadoff walk. And he'll bring up Ryan Lindsay. Lindsay getting the start for the Marauders at shortstop tonight with Alvarez on the mound. We've seen Ryan come in relief a few times of Jan Alvarez. You can see Jonathan Sanchez there on first base. Lindsay, though, 1 for 2 with an RBI and a double in the loss against Bradshaw on Tuesday. Ryan comes into this game carrying a .241 batting average with 7 hits on 29 at-bats. He'll show bunt, pull it back, and take strike one. The count will go to 0-1 with Sanchez on first and no one out. So Lindsay will stride back in here, waiting the 0-1 offering from Smith. We'll see if Sanchez takes off to second. The 0-1 runs inside. Does not hit Lindsay, but it'll go for a ball. The count will go to 1-1. So a 1-1 count here to Lindsay. Looking to drive something here with Sanchez over at first. Smith taking a look at the senior at first. The 1-1. Lindsay with a chopper, gets past the third baseman. That's Dick, and Sanchez will stay on second. So a no-out single for Ryan Lindsay moves Jonathan Sanchez from first to second, and it'll bring up Emmett Smith. We take a look at that one. You can see Sanchez, easy does it, goes from first to second. Takes a look at left field, and it's just a nice hit from Lindsay on a high fastball. Able to drive it right past the third baseman, Torrin Dick. And Emmett Smith will get an opportunity with runners on second and first. That one goes away, and the count will go to 1-0. Emmett coming into this game, batting .147, looking to improve that average here. Small sample size for the outfielder, the junior outfielder. The 1-0 runs inside, does not hit him. The count will go to 2-0. So now a 2-0 count to Emmett Smith. Sanchez at second, Lindsay over at first. Still no one out. The 2-0. Smith watches that one away, and the count will go to 3-0. Jahia Rogers waiting on deck. Rogers back in the lineup in center field tonight. Smith looking for something to drive on 3-0, or will he get walked? The pitch, he'll get walked. Bases are loaded now for Jahia Rogers as Jonathan Sanchez goes to third. Ryan Lindsay goes from first to second, and Emmett Smith will get on with a walk. Still no one out. Bases are loaded, and we will see Jahia Rogers come in, but we could see a pitching change before that, and we will. So Emmett Smith is done. We'll get a new pitcher for the Winslow Bulldogs here. It is still the bottom of the second inning. Bases loaded, no outs, as we get a high leverage situation for the new Bulldog pitcher. Stay with us. We'll take a break.
Starting in the late 1920s, Grandpa Gettle and his brothers laid the groundwork for what would become a family legacy. Almost 100 years and 100 patents later, Gettle's High Desert Mechanical continues to raise the bar of quality heating, cooling, and plumbing products and services in the Verde Valley.
Call Gettle's High Desert Mechanical Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing at 567-2200 or online at GettlesHDM.com, providing solutions for your comfort. Don't settle. Get Gettles and go Marauders.
The most common reasons for bankruptcy are unforeseen circumstances like tragedies, illness, unemployment, and foreclosures. I'm Michael Gordon. We understand your situation and your need to look at all the alternatives. Call Gordon & Gordon for a free, non-judgmental bankruptcy or foreclosure consultation. Ask about zero-down bankruptcy options. Gordon & Gordon Attorneys at Law. Trust well placed.
George Smith is done on the mound for the Winslow Bulldogs here in the bottom of the second inning. Bases loaded. Mingus leading 1-0, and it'll be Storm Kinlachini stepping in. Kinlachini, the senior pitcher, did pitch in the victory against Alchese on Tuesday of last week. That would have been April 13th. 4 innings pitched, 3 hits, 3 runs, 2 earned runs, and 4 strikeouts for the senior pitcher. He comes in relief of his fellow senior George Smith. Jonathan Sanchez over at third, Ryan Lindsay at second, Emmett Smith over at first, and Jahia Rogers is at the plate. Looking to tack on a few more here as the Marauders look to extend their lead in the bottom of the second. The first one on the way from Kinlachini is in for a strike, and the count will go to 0-1. Rogers awaiting now the 0-2 offering here with bases loaded. The 0-1, I should say. Slow ground ball picked up by Chacon. He's going to have trouble with it at second. It will bring in a run. So Rogers gets on. Does bring around Jonathan Sanchez. Lindsay will go to third. Smith will go to second, and Jahia Rogers at first. Top of the order now with Jan Alvarez, who does have a single so far this afternoon. And we'll see what he can do with bases loaded again. No outs so far for the Bulldogs. Kinlachini, the first one on the way. Is going to be another hit. This one back to the shortstop. Throw over to Chacon. Chacon on to first is not in time. Gets past the first baseman. Lindsay scores on the ground ball. Smith will come in to score on the overthrow. And Jahia Rogers will head over to third. So Alvarez gets on. The Marauders bring around 2 more, and now they lead 3-0 or 4-0. So I should say Lindsay was actually out on the ground ball. Or Rogers was out on the ground ball. So Rogers is out. There is one down. As Alvarez is going to take off, barely off the hands for Balo. We'll see if he can beat the throw. The throw from Corum is in time. Alvarez will smartly take third with no one there. 2 down for the Bulldogs, but the Marauders have a runner on third with Trey Peters stepping in. So 2 down now for the Bulldogs, and Trey Peters will step in. Peters got on with a walk and was stranded at second in the first inning. We'll see what he can do with Alvarez over at third. The first offering from Kinlachini is away for a ball. Peters awaiting the 1-0 here. Pitch on the way. That one is in for a strike, and the count will go to 1-1. So now a 1-1 count here to Trey Peters. Peters looking to bring in Alvarez from third. Marauders able to extend their lead 1-0. Now it's 4-0. The 1-1. That one is away, and the count will go to 2-1. And Alvarez will stay at third. 2 balls and 1 strike here to Trey Peters. Storm Kinlachini coming in relief of George Smith. Looking for the final out of the inning here, the 2-1. Kinlachini, that one runs inside, and the count will go to 3-1. Peters does have a walk so far this afternoon. Zack Harrison waiting on deck. And we'll see what Peters does on 3-1. I would assume he's got the green light if it's close. The 3-1 on the way. Peters watches that one away. It'll be another walk for Trey Peters. Runners on the corners for Zack Harrison with 2 down. Harrison grounding into an inning-ending double play in the first inning. And now we'll see what he can do here with his first opportunity. As I should correct myself, Harrison actually walked. It was Schamberger who grounded into the double play. So Harrison got on with a walk in his first at-bat. And now we'll see what he can do here against the new pitcher. Peters over at first. Kinlachini's first offering is away for a ball. So now a 1-0 count here to Zack Harrison. Peters at first, Alvarez over at third. Our score 4-0 here in the bottom of the second, 2 down. The 1-0. Peters is going to take off. It's popped straight up. We'll see if it's going to be in play. Trying to make the catch is Martin. He will not. And the count will go to 1-1. So Peters was taken off from first to second. I said earlier it'd be great to see him steal. And he did just that, trying to take away the double play. But unfortunately, Trey's got to walk all the way back to first base now as Zack Harrison will stride back in with a 1-1 count. Again, 2 outs for the Bulldogs here. The 1-1 on the way. Harrison fouls that one off as well, and the count will go to 1-2. So on a 1-2 count, Harrison looking to drive something into the outfield and at least bring around Alvarez to extend the Marauder lead. Kinlachini takes a look over at first. Harrison awaits the 1-2, the pitch. Runs inside, and the count will go to 2-2. Kinlachini was on the mound in the victory against Alchese last Tuesday. 4 innings pitched, 3 hits, 3 runs, 2 of them earned, and 4 strikeouts for the senior pitcher. 2-2 count so far. As Harrison awaits the pitch from Kinlachini, it is on the way. Peters will take off from first to second. Harrison will pop that one up. We'll see if it'll get tracked down. Ariano will not get it. And we'll try it one more time as Trey Peters has got to make his way back from second to first again. So Harrison awaiting the 2-2 here. Again, runners on the corners. Peters at first, Alvarez at third. 2 outs. Storm Kinlachini on the mound for the Winslow Bulldogs. Looking to get out of the inning. Marauders lead 4-0. The 2-2. That one is away, and the count will go full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to the junior catcher. Harrison looking for something to drive here. We'll see what Kinlachini offers him with the 3-2 pitch. Harrison into right. It'll be shallow. We'll see if Fahala will track it down. He will for the final out of the inning. But not before the Marauders can bring around 3 and extend their lead 4-0. We'll head to the top of the third where the Marauders look to keep the bats quiet and continue this momentum into their half of their inning. We'll stay with us.
All Price Insurance on Main Street in Cottonwood is your local insurance provider for personal and commercial insurance. Call and compare 23 insurance companies for home, health, auto, RV, motorcycle, boat, or ATV. Specialty insurance and insurance bonds are no problem at All Price Insurance. Call or visit All Price Insurance today.
Accidents happen. Red Rock Collision knows that your car is the second largest investment you're likely to make. For over 15 years, Red Rock Collision has been there to negotiate for you, the customer, not the insurance company. John and his staff promise quality repair with honesty and integrity. You can rest easy now. They'll return your car as safe as the day it was built.
Marauders leading 4-0 here as we head to the top of the third inning. Jan Alvarez still on the mound for the Marauders. Back-to-back 1-2-3 innings for the junior pitcher. 3 strikeouts so far for Jan. Looking for a few more here to be Torin Dick, Chris Ariano, and Aiden Fahala, the 1-2-3 for the Winslow Bulldogs here in the top of the third inning. I want to welcome you back here to Verde Valley TV. We'll see what Torin Dick can do. He went 1 for 2 with a walk last Friday against Payson. Comes into this game carrying a .394 average so far. 13 hits, 33 at-bats, 1 double and 1 triple. And we'll see what he can do here. His first opportunity against Jan Alvarez. First offering is popped up, but it'll go foul. And the count will go to 0-1. 2 groundouts and a strikeout is what did it for Jan Alvarez in the second inning. Would love another 1-2-3 inning here in the third. Bulldogs have been working the count, though, against Alvarez. The 0-1 here on the way to Torin Dick. Swung on and missed, and the count will go to 0-2. A 3-1 count to Wilbanks last inning, an 0-2 count to Leonard last inning, and a 2-2 count to Chacon in the second inning as well to end out the 1-2-3. So Alvarez working a little bit here, but working efficiently. The 0-2 is low, and they got him looking. Strikeout number 4 for Jan Alvarez. Out number 1 for the Marauders here in the third. Chris Ariano will step in. Ariano this season so far, batting .217, 5 hits in 23 at-bats and 3 RBIs with 2 triples on the record there for the junior. He awaits the first offering here from Alvarez. Curveball is in for a strike, and the count will go to 0-1. Ariano looking for something to drive here, looking to be the first base runner of this inning. Alvarez looking to keep those bats quiet. The 0-1 is away, and the count will go to 1-1. 1-1 on the way, the pitch. Ground ball. Lindsay picks it up at short. Throw on to first. Little high. Schamberger got the grab and the tag. Out number 2 for the Marauders. Great play by Schamberger over at first to apply the tag from the runner. 2 down for the Marauders. We take a look at it there. You can see the throw was away from Schamberger, but to the benefit of the Marauders, they went right to the correct side. So Sham was able to get the tag down on Ariano. 2 down for the Marauders here. Falha will check in and watch the first one in for a strike. The count will go to 0-1. A 1 on the way here with 2 outs. Swung on and missed. To count will go to 0-2. Alvarez looking for another 1-2-3 inning and possibly strikeout number 5 here for out number 3. The 0-2 on the way. Curveball, he did it. Another strikeout for Alvarez. That's 5 for the junior pitcher. We will head into the bottom of the third. The Marauders looking to extend their 4-0 lead. Stay with us.
From the Merkin farm to your table, from their vines to your glass, Merkin Vineyards Tasting Room and Osteria, a sense of place for extended family and community. The Merkin mission is to deliver a total sustainable Arizona experience, with fruits and vegetables family farmed in the Verde Valley and vines grown on Arizona Merkin acreage. Pastas and breads made from scratch and served with daily seasonal specials. Keep an eye out for the Merkin pizza and gelato wagons using the same local ingredients.
Balancing your family, finances, and future is a lot of responsibility. Let Jennifer Griffin and her team at State Farm help. Jennifer Griffin is an Arizona native and a Mingus graduate, as well as a third-generation State Farm agent, serving you in the same Main Street location for over 35 years. Jennifer Griffin and her team want to wish all of the Mingus athletes the best of luck this season. Go Marauders! Jennifer Griffin and State Farm Insurance, here to help life go right.
It'll be Ryan Schamberger, Jonathan Sanchez, and Ryan Lindsay, the 1-2-3 for the Marauders here in the bottom of the third inning, able to extend their lead in the bottom of the second inning from 1-0 to now 4-0. Schamberger getting his first opportunity against the new pitcher Storm Kinlachini. Kinlachini coming in a very high leverage situation with bases loaded. was somewhat efficient, but unfortunately a few runs did come around. He was able to get out of the inning. We'll see what he offers Schamberger on the first pitch. It has popped up. We'll see if it gets to us here in the stands. Coming over to track it down is Dick, and he will not make the catch. So now the count will go to 0-1. A bit of a tough sky here, as it is absolutely crystal clear here in northern Arizona. No clouds in the sky, and the sun is probably right in the right spot to catch the baseball and make that fly ball a little bit more tougher for any third baseman right now. So the 0-1 on the way to Schamberger is fouled off. The count will go to 0-2. Always tough to battle the sun. We saw it a little bit last week with the Marauders taking on Bradshaw. Saw a couple fly balls on both sides getting lost because they just got lost in the sun. So now Schamberger will await the 0-2 here from Kinlachini. And Kinlachini working out of the full windup here. The 0-2 offering is smacked into left field. Coming over to track it down is Will Banks. It will be the center fielder instead, Lyons, for out number 1. A quick out for the Bulldogs as Jonathan Sanchez will step in. Sanchez got a walk to lead off the second inning and came around to score. And we'll see what he can do as Schamberger flies out. Just a routine fly ball for Lyons. You can see Sham running first and slowly making that trot back to the dugout. But had a nice swing on it. Just unfortunately didn't go deep enough. As Lyons able to make the catch, him and Will Banks doing a good job communicating out in center. Jonathan Sanchez fouled off that first pitch. So the count will go to 0-1. Sanchez awaiting the 0-1 here. Pitch on the way. That one runs away, and the count will go to 1-1. Ryan Lindsay waiting on deck. Lindsay got on with a single. Did come around to score in the second inning. Sanchez awaiting the 1-1 here from Kinlachini. The pitch on the way with one down. Is in right center. That will nestle in between the outfielders. Sanchez will round first. He will think second, but stay at 1. And Sanchez able to get on with a 1-out single. Be the first base runner of the evening for the Marauders here in the third. And now Ryan Lindsay will step in. Lindsay getting on with a single in the second inning. Did come around to score. And with Jonathan Sanchez over at first, he'll look to bring him around and extend this lead. First one on the way to Lindsay. Off speed, in for a strike, and the count will go to 0-1. Lindsay gets the sign from Coach Quesada down the third base line. Again, Jonathan Sanchez over at first. Got on with a leadoff single if you're just joining us. Lindsay, the batter, now waiting the 0-1. Pitch on the way is swung on and missed. Count will go to 0-2. So now Lindsay will wait the 0-2 offering here from Kinlachini. You can see Sanchez taking a little bit more of a lead at first. I doubt he takes off, but we'll see what happens. The 0-2 on the way, the pitch. That one runs inside. Sanchez will take off on the throw. He is safe at second, and Sanchez puts himself in a better position to score. So now a 1-2 count to Ryan Lindsay, and a great job by Jonathan Sanchez to go from first to second on the stolen base. And now the Marauders with a good opportunity. You can see Sanchez saw Martin kind of take his time back there, and he was able to take advantage as Lindsay gets that one past the diving third baseman. He'll stay at third, and Lindsay will get on with a 1-out single. Runners on the corners now for Emmett Smith. Second base hit for Ryan Lindsay. And now we'll see what Emmett can do with runners on the corners, and only 1 out. Smith got on with a walk and came around to score. Runners on third and first. Sanchez at third. Lindsay now over at first. We'll see if Lindsay takes off to take away the double play. He'll get a bigger lead, but he'll stay at first. Smith watches the first one in for a strike. You can see the first baseman there clapping his glove. He wants the throw down from the catcher. And we'll see if it happens. Lindsay did take a pretty big lead on that first one, and it looks like Ariano kind of got a glimpse of it. And we'll see if Martin throws down here on the second offering from Smith. Martin does take the ball, stands up, but it's a bit of a hard throw from Kinlachini to make that throw over to first. It does take a skip in the dirt, but Martin does a good job of keeping it in front of him. And now 1-1 count here to Smith. Smith looking for something to drive here with runners on the corners. The 1-1. Lindsay is going to take off to second. It will not draw a throw from Martin, and that pitch will go in for a strike. So 1-2 count here to Emmett Smith. Lindsay able to advance to second base on the stolen base, and now the runners are at second and third instead of third and first. So Smith striding in here, waiting the 1-2 offering from Kinlachini. Bulldogs looking for their second out. The 1-2 is a little high, and the count will go to 2-2. Not a bad spot to miss from Kinlachini. You can tell Smith wanted to get a piece of it, but smartly lays off. And now we got a 2-2 count. The 2-2 offering here from Kinlachini is an off-speed pitch that Smith drives into center field. Sanchez will score. Lindsay will stay at third. It is an RBI single as Emmett Smith walks his way back over to first base, and the Marauders now lead 5-0. Nice piece of hitting there from Emmett Smith. Pops it right over the shortstop's head into center field. Puts him on first, puts Lindsay over at third, brings Sanchez in to score. And now Jahia Rogers with an opportunity to bring in Lindsay and possibly Smith if it's deep enough. Rogers got on with an error in the second inning. First one on the way. Rogers fouls that one off, and the count will go to 0-1. Rogers a part of that inning-ending double play. Looking to change his luck here, bring around a few more guys, get his first hit of the afternoon. Extend this Marauder lead. Again, only one down for Mingus. Had a big inning in the second, looking to do the same thing here in the third. The 0-1. Pickoff move to first is not in time. Kind of a dangerous move, though, if you do that pickoff to first with the runner on third. Of course, an overthrow does bring in the runner from third, so interesting that Kinlachini still makes the throw over to first. The 0-1. Jahia Rogers is going to drop a bunt. Kinlachini's going to pick it up, try to make the play at first. Nobody's there. Lindsay's going to try to score. He will on the overthrow. Smith will go from second to third. The Marauders have runners on the corners once again and now lead 6-0. So Rogers able to bunt his way on. Smith going from all the way from first to third on the overthrow to home. And it's a smart play from Kinlachini. He saw Lindsay coming in. He held onto the ball, thought he could make the play at first. Nobody was covering first. And he thought, I got the guy at home, but unfortunately just kind of darts it into the ground and does not result in an out. So now Jahia Rogers is at first. Ryan Lindsay's over at, Emmett Smith's over at third. And now Jan Alvarez, as that ball gets past Martin, Smith will come in and score. Marauders now leading 7-0. Jahia Rogers going to second on the pass ball. And now Jan Alvarez with just a runner over at second. So a 1-0 count to Jan Alvarez. Looking for another base hit. He found one in the first, got on with an error in the second, and was stranded at third. And now here in the third inning, Kinlachini will work out of the full stretch. He'll step off smartly. You got a runner at second, free base open. 1-0 count here to Jan Alvarez. Pitch on the way. That one runs inside, and the count will go to 1-1. So the 1-1 offering here to Alvarez runs inside, and now the count will go to 2-1. Jahia Rogers over at second, one down for the Bulldogs. Jan Alvarez, the batter for Mingus, the 2-1. Swung on a miss. The count will now go to 2-2. Here's a good opportunity for Ken Lacini to get that second out. Alvarez awaiting the 2-2 here from Ken Lacini. Pitch on the way. 2-2 runs inside. Martin gets past him. And they're going to say it hit him, so Rogers will go back to second. Alvarez will get on with a hit by pitch. And now Ben Balo will step in with runners on second and first. We'll see if we get a courtesy runner for the pitcher. Coach Casada usually lets Jan run. Jan's a pretty speedy guy over at first base. So now Ben Balo will stride in. Again, only one out. Runners on first and second. First one on the way to Balo. Balo watches that one in for a strike, and the count will go to 0-1. Good pitch there from Ken Lacini. Not a bad location there for Balo to possibly swing, but he lays off it. Balo waiting the 0-1, the pitch. That one's fouled off, and the count will go to 0-2.
He's got it. Oh, get burnt. Hey, battle.
So an 0-2 count here to Ben Balo. Ken Lacini looking for his first strikeout of the afternoon and possibly out number 2. Balo looking for his first hit. Struck out in the first, grounded out in the second, the 0-2. Slow chopper, but foul.
Battle, babe. Hey, how many pitches have you seen in this game? No, more than that, bro.
Guys, players at the dugout. That's coach's spot right there.
So an 0-2 count here as Ben Balo looks for a base hit. Runners on second and first. The 0-2 offering from Ken Lacini. The pitch. That one's in the dirt, kept in front by Martin. And the count will go to 1-2. So Balo will stride back in here, 1-2 count. Runners on second and first. Ken Lacini shakes off the call, gets one he likes. The 1-2 is in the dirt, past Martin. Rogers will go to third. Alvarez will go to second. And it makes it a little easier for Ben Balo on a 2-2 count to bring both those guys in. So, of course, this is obviously a non-region game for both these two teams. The Marauders a 4A team and Winslow a 3A team. So, you know, despite the struggles today, Winslow, though, has been doing very well this season. 8-3 overall, 5-2 in their region. They got a game against Payson coming up on Tuesday. They beat Payson on Friday, April 16th. So my point is, it's a much better team than what we're seeing right now, the 2-2. That's a slow chopper. It will go foul. It's just tough when you face a bigger school and different pool of kids and different talent levels. And just one season it's this, another season it's that. And Mingus is taking advantage. They're looking to change their look, like I mentioned, trying to break that 7-game losing streak. Currently looking for a victory here. The 2-2 on the way to Balo. It'll go right to short. Picked up by the shortstop. That's Corum. Throw on to first is away from the first baseman. Rogers comes in and scores. Alvarez stays at second, and Balo is on with a base hit. So runners on first and second. It's Trey Peters, who's also looking for a base hit, strides in here in the third. Got on with a walk in the first, stayed at second. Got on with a walk in the second and stayed at first. We'll see what he can do here in the third. Swung on a miss. The count will go to 0-1. Marauders looking for a confidence booster here. They'll face Bradshaw Mountain. Coming up. Is that one? They will not face Bradshaw Mountain. That one's popped up in right field. Falha trying to track it down. He'll make the catch. Alvarez will stay at second, and Balo will stay over at first. 2 down now for the Bulldogs. So Zack Harrison will stride in. Harrison got a walk in the first. Stranded at first, basically, and then flew out in the second. He's also looking for a base hit. Runners on second and first. We'll see what he can do here against Kinlachini. First offering on the way. That'll go right down the first base line, but it'll go foul. Another solid piece of hitting for Zack, but unfortunately it goes on the wrong side of the field. He had a nice moonshot going to the way foul territory, and if it had stayed fair, maybe could have carried out of the ballpark, but unfortunately it went foul. So very similar to what we just saw with Harrison. Nice drive down first base line and hops right over that white chalk line. So Harrison, the 0-1, swung on a miss. The count will go to 0-2. Harrison swinging out of his shoes on that one. He'll reset here, 0-2 count. The 0-2 on the way. Kinlachini will step off, excuse me.
Let's go, kid, make it happen. Lefty power, babe.
Harrison waiting the 0-2 here from Kinlachini. Pitch on the way is slapped foul. Count will go to 0-2. Harrison, the check swing, goes foul.
I love you.
Ryan Schamberger having to wipe some sweat off the brow there. That ball careening to the left side. But he's okay.
Let's go, kid.
Harrison waiting the 0-2 here. Pitch on the way. Off speed is high. Count will go to 1-2. Harrison waiting the 1-2, the pitch. That one is away, and the count will go to 2-2. Harrison looking to bring around a few more here before we head to the fourth inning. 2 balls and 2 strikes with runners on second and first. The 2-2 offering to the junior catcher is popped up into right field. Falha trying to make the catch. And he will for the final out of the inning. Kinlachini able to get out of it here in the third inning, but not before the Marauders could bring around 4 and extend their lead 8-0. We head to the fourth inning. Stay with us.
From the Glen Canyon Dam to the corner sidewalks, Salt River Materials Group, Phoenix Cement, has helped build Arizona and the Southwest since 1959. Much like the products they provide, Salt River Materials Group, Phoenix Cement, has a strong sense of community and contributes to it in meaningful ways. Phoenix Cement is considered a premier employer and community supporter and would like to thank their friendly neighbors for 6 decades of continued support. Think harder, think concrete.
The mouth is the gateway to the digestive system. Studies indicate a correlation between oral health and full body health. Regular cleanings and checkups can help protect you. New patients are welcome at Arizona Smile Designers in Cottonwood. There's a full smile worth of services all offered under one roof. Whitening and cosmetic to implants and smile reconstruction. Find out more or request an appointment online at azsmiledesigners.com.
It was a 1-2-3 inning for Jan Alvarez in the top of the third inning. 2 strikeouts and a ground out, able to keep the bats quiet of the Winslow Bulldogs. It'll be Zane Corum, Jace Lyons, and Justice Martin, the 1-2-3 for the Bulldogs here as we kick things off in the top of the fourth inning. Marauders leading 8-0. Corum grounded out in the first inning. We'll get his opportunity here in the fourth inning. First offering on the way from Alvarez, who has 5 strikeouts so far. Is away, and the count will go to 1-0. Corum able to work a 1-1 count before grounding out in the first inning. Alvarez looking for a little less work here, the 1-0. Swung on a miss, the count will go to 1-1. So 1-1 count here. Corum awaits the pitch. That one is popped up. Jahia Rogers tracking it in. Sanchez trying to track it in. It'll fall. And it'll be the first base hit for the Bulldogs here in the fourth. The no-no is gone, but the lead stays intact as Corum gets on with a single. Jace Lyons, who was a strikeout victim in the first inning, will look to change his luck like the man on first base. No outs for the Bulldogs. Runner on first. Their first base runner here so far. Long lead for Corum over at first. First pitch is inside, and we'll go for a ball. We'll see how much of an eye Alvarez keeps on Corum over at first as he takes a pretty decent lead. The 1-0. Grounder. Peters gets under his glove. Another base runner here for the Bulldogs. Corum goes to second. Lyon gets on with a single, and Al Martin will stride in. Another guy who's looking to change his luck. Struck out in the first and looking for something here in the fourth with runners on second and first and no outs. A couple Bulldogs warming up in the bullpen. Justice Martin looking for a base hit here with runners on second and first. First offering is in the dirt, but picked up by Harrison. And the count will go to 1-0. Second offering is pieced up in right field. Sanchez having to track it over his head. Coming in to score is Corum. Coming around second base is Lyons. The relay throw from Balo. Lyons will be waved around. Relay throw to third. It is out the glove of Peters. Martin will stay at third with a triple. He brings around two. Wow. So the lead cut from 8-0 now 8-2. And Martin, the catcher, will get a pinch runner. As you can see, would have been a close play had Peters made the catch, but unfortunately it tips off the end of his glove. And it'll be a pinch runner that is RJ Caldera. He'll run for Martin over at third, and we'll see Sonny Wilbanks, who grounded out in the second inning, get an opportunity here. Bulldogs starting to get to Alvarez a little bit, but we'll see if Alvarez can work out of it. Still looking for that first out of the inning. That pitch is high, and the count will go to 1-0. That one is down the line third, but it will go foul, and you can see Wilbanks wants that one back. Wilbanks awaiting the 1-1 here. Pitch on the way. That one will go foul. Now the count will go to 1-2. Here's Alvarez. A good opportunity here to get a batter out, get an out back. He gave up two, still carrying a 6-run lead. So nothing too crazy has happened as Harrison goes and talks with his pitcher. So all Alvarez needs here is just one out to sort of settle back in and try his luck against Tyson Leonard, who he got to ground out in the second inning, and try to strand that runner at third, and then the Marauders will just try to get those two back that they gave up. So 1-2 count here. Pitch on the way to Wilbanks. In right field, Sanchez trying to track it down. He will not, it'll fall. He will get it before Wilbanks can round first, but Wilbanks will head to second with a double. He gets an RBI, and another run comes around for the Bulldogs. Off the double from Wilbanks. And now Tyson Leonard will look to keep the hit parade going with a runner on second base and no outs. Leonard, a ground out victim in the second inning. First pitch on the way is in to left. It is high in the air, but easy enough for Rogers to track it down for out number one. And now Tegan Chacon will check in. Chacon struck out in the second inning. One down here for the Marauders with a runner on second. You You can see Rogers having to fight the wind a little bit on that fly out, but able to make the catch. That one goes in the dirt, does get past Harrison, but not enough to move the runner from second. The count will go to 1-0. On the way here from Alvarez. Slow grounder. Balo off the glove, trying to stay with it, keep it in front of him. It's going to be a base hit. Chacon gets on. Wilbanks goes to third. Runners on the corners for Torrin Dick. Dick, a strikeout victim in the third inning. And it seems like everybody who struggled early on is doing better here. Alvarez looking for a possible inning-ending double play. Still not too much damage done so far. First one on the way to Dick. The pitch on the way. Slow chopper. Here's their opportunity. Lindsay cannot backhand it. Coming in to score is Wilbanks. And the runners will stay at second and first, respectively. So another base hit here as Chris Ariano will step in. Ariano grounded out in the third. And now with runners on second and first, an opportunity to cut even deeper into this deficit, as now they've run it to half. 8-4 our score. First pitch to Ariano. Gets it in the dirt, picked up by Peters. He will just hustle over and tag third smartly. They get the lead runner for out number 2. Peters was waiting for Chacon to go from second to third, and Chacon stopped, and then Peters said, well, if you're not going to come to me, I'm just going to go tag the base. You're out regardless. So he did just that. Gets the unassisted out at third. 2 down for the Marauders here. Aiden Fala will check in. First pitch on the way to Fala is popped up. We'll see if Alvarez can track it down. He does for the final out of the inning. But how about the Bulldogs? Able to tack on 4, cut the deficit 8-4 here. We'll head to the Marauder half of the 4th inning where they look to get their lead extended even more. Stay with us.
The Suzy Q Market is the most convenient stop for road trips with 1,500 beverage selections and plenty of snacks. And save on fuel with the Marathon Make It Count reward program. The Suzy Q drive-thru window is the most convenient way to stop for those essentials on the way home.
Road trips start here with something for everyone.
At Suzy Q.
Shop local first, always.
Go Marauders!
Lawler Construction has been a premier local builder of custom residential and commercial projects for 36 years. Using green construction methods, Lawler Construction builds efficiency into every custom design. Lawler Construction is a certified Energy Star builder. For examples, visit LawlerConstructionAZ.com. They thank you for your business confidence and continued referrals. Lawler Construction, a proud supporter of baseball and softball at all levels. Look for Lawler Construction homes at Mountain Gate and Clarkdale this summer.
Jonathan Sanchez, Ryan Lindsay, and Emmett Smith, the 1-2-3 for the Marauders here in the bottom of the 4th inning. They will face a new pitcher in former DH Tyson Leonard. Leonard on the bump now for the Bulldogs. Ken Liccini doing a good job of coming in relief for about 2 innings. Did surrender 4 here in the 3rd, but now we'll see what Tyson Leonard has to offer. Leonard's first appearance so far here in 2021. And he'll face a couple hot batters. Of course, Jonathan Sanchez got on with a walk and then got also on with a single. Scored both times. Ryan Lindsay is also 2 for 2. He also scored as well. He's got a stolen base. A walk for Emmett Smith and then a single. He's 1 for 1, just like Jonathan Sanchez. And if we get to Jahia Rogers, he's 1 for 2. So a good hot bottom portion of the lineup for the Marauders here as they face a new pitcher. Looking to tack on a few more runs they gave up, giving up 4 in the top of this inning. And now looking to get those 4 back and possibly a few more. Marauders looking for a big inning themselves. Had 1 in the 2nd, did have 1 in the 3rd. But the Bulldogs finally getting to Jan Alvarez. Jan was throwing a no-hitter through about 3 innings, which he should usually wait till about after the 4th to start calling in a no-hitter. But once the no-hitter was gone off the leadoff single from Zane Corum, the shutout was still on, but then Winslow just started tacking on a few runs, got a few base hits. So hopefully Jan will bounce back when he gets an opportunity to pitch in the top of the 4th. Mingus still leading here. First one on the way to Schamberger is away for a ball, and I should correct myself. It'll be Schamberger, Sanchez, and Lindsay, the 1-2-3. We won't see Emmett Smith just yet. Second offering here is in for a strike, and the count will go to 1-1. The 1-1 on the way. Pitch to Schamberger, runs high and inside, and the count will go to 2-1. Schamberger grounded out in the first, flew out in the third, but if there's any inning to get a base hit, it would be this one. We saw a lot of Bulldogs turn their luck here in the fourth. He takes that one high, and the count will go to 3-1. So Schamberger does have the green light here on 3-1. We'll see if anything close he'll take a hack at. Leonard looking for a strike, the 3-1, and he gets it. Count will go to 3-2. 3 balls and 2 strikes here to Schamberger. Pitch on the way. Off speed is popped up. Shortstop Corum looking to call it off. Tracks it down for out number 1. As mentioned, Jonathan Sanchez will stride in. Sanchez 1 for 1 so far with a single and a walk. Did score on both times. Got a stolen base in the 3rd inning. And we'll see what he can do here. 1 down for the Bulldogs with no one on. Mingus still leading 8-4. First one on the way from Leonard is away, and the count will go to 1-0. The 1-0 on the way here to Sanchez. Off speed runs inside. The count will go to 2-0. Sanchez looking to get on for the Marauders. Get a little bit more separation between them and Winslow. As I mentioned, the Bulldogs able to tack on 4 in the top half of this inning. The 2-0. Slow chopper off the glove of Leonard. Sanchez will beat that out. He'll get on with a leadoff single. So Sanchez gets on, and now Ryan Lindsay, who's 2 for 2, will stride in. So Sanchez still over at first base here. Again, Ryan Lindsay 2 for 2 so far. Did score in both opportunities. First one on the way here to Ryan Lindsay. He takes his first offering from Leonard high for a ball. His first opportunity here against Leonard. In fact, everybody's facing Leonard for the first time. Not just because it's been a long time since these two teams have played each other, but because this is Leonard's first opportunity on the mound. Sanchez over at first. 1-0 count here to Ryan Lindsay. The pitch on 1-0 is away, and the count will go to 2-0. So 2-0 count here to Lindsay. Jonathan Sanchez over at first. Only 1 down for the Bulldogs. Double play still a possibility. The 2-0. Lindsay watches that one in for a strike, and the count will go to 2-1. Two-1 count to Ryan Lindsay. Leonard takes a look at Sanchez over at first. The 2-1 offering. Runs high and inside. The count will go to 3-1. So 3-1 count here to Lindsay, looking to get on again. And he will. So Lindsay gets on with a walk. Sanchez will go over to first. Lindsay 2 for 2 with a walk now, and it'll be Emmett Smith, who also has a walk. Got that in the 2nd inning and got a single in the 3rd. Came around to score both times, and now an opportunity to tack on a few more here for the Marauders with Sanchez at 2nd and Ryan Lindsay over at first. First offering on the way from Leonard to Smith is away, and the count will go to 1-0. Smith looking to take something here into the outfield. 2 of the faster runners for the Marauders on base right now. The 1-0. Smith check swing, didn't want to swing at it. It goes foul. 1-1 count. Count goes 1-1 here to Emmett Smith. The offering. Swung on and missed. Maybe got a little bit of a piece of it. They will call it foul. The count will go to 1-2. So a 1-2 count here. Emmett Smith looking for a base hit. Pitch on the way. Smith, high chopper. Corum picks it up at short. Throw on to second. Throw on to first. Did they get the double play? They did. So the Marauders unable to bring around a couple of those runs they gave up. They'll try to keep the bats quiet in the fifth. We head into the fifth inning. Marauders still leading 8-4.
All Price Insurance on Main Street in Cottonwood is your local insurance provider for personal and commercial insurance. Call and compare 23 insurance companies for home, health, auto, RV, motorcycle, boat, or ATV. Specialty insurance and insurance bonds are no problem at All Price Insurance. Call or visit All Price Insurance today.
Accidents happen. Red Rock Collision knows that your car is the second largest investment you're likely to make. For over 15 years, Red Rock Collision has been there to negotiate for you, the customer, not the insurance company. John and his staff promise quality repair with honesty and integrity. You can rest easy now. They'll return your car as safe as the day it was built.
See the double play here that ended the fourth inning. As a high chopper to Smith. Corum able to pick it up, toss it over to Chacon, and then on to Ariano, and easy does it. 1-2-3 for the double play, or I should say 6-4-3 on the double play. It'll be the leadoff hitter Zane Corum, who we just saw on the replay there, take the first pitch in the dirt for ball one. Want to welcome you back here to Patterson Field on the campus of Mingus Union High School. Mingus currently leading 8-4 here in the top of the fifth inning. Corum got on with a single in the fourth and came around to score. As he watches that second offering in for a strike, he started off a absolute hit parade for the Winslow Bulldogs. 5 hits and 4 runs for Winslow in the fourth inning. The 1-1 off speed runs inside. The count will go now to 2-1. So now Alvarez looking for hopefully more of the first inning from Corum than the fourth. And of course, Corum looking for the reverse of that, the 2-1 on the way. That'll go foul. The count will go to 2-2. Of course, Corum grounding out in the first inning, then got a single in the fourth and came around to score. Alvarez would love to keep that bat quiet of Corum, and he would just like to have a similar inning and possibly tie it up. But a 2-2 here from Alvarez, looking for his 6th strikeout of the evening. Off speed. Not a bad spot to miss from Alvarez as that one goes away and the count will go full. Alvarez looking for the first out of the fifth, the 3-2. Off speed, into center, it'll fall. Corum gets on with a leadoff single. And now it'll be Jace Lyons stepping in. So now it'll be Jace Lyons. Lyons, a strikeout victim in the first, got on with a single in the fourth, did come around to score in the fourth inning. He's got Zane Corum at first base. Alvarez takes a look at him. First offering on the way. Corum's going to take off. Harrison gets the dig. Throw down to second is not in time. As Corum takes off and gets the stolen base. Good block from Harrison behind the plate. The count will go to 1-0. The 1-0. Slow chopper, foul. Count will now go to 1-1. Double play no longer a possibility for the Marauders. But still looking for that first out. 1-1 count. Pitch on the way. Off speed is foul. Count will go to 1 and 2. So now a 1-2 count here to Jace Lyons. Alvarez still looking for that first out. Will he get it here on 1-2? Nope, it'll go foul. And Lyons will keep battling at the plate. So a 1-2 count here. Pitch on the way. That one is in the dirt and scooped up by Harrison. And now the count will run even at 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Runner on second base. No outs for the Marauders here. Alvarez, the 2-2 offering. Off speed, slow grounder. Lindsay picks it up at short. Throw on to first is not in time. Stumbled a little bit. And getting on will be Lyons. And Corum will stay at second, and here comes Justice Martin, who struck out in the first and got a triple in the 4th inning that brought around Corum and Lyons. First one on the way here to Martin is driven into center field. Going back on it is Jahia Rogers looking up, and he'll let it go on the roof. It's a home run. Justice Martin has given life back to Winslow. 7-8 our score on the homer. Big homer from the catcher. And Winslow is back in it. What a big swing from the freshman. Into straightaway center. And now we'll see Sonny Wilbanks step in. Wilbanks grounded out in the second, got a single in the 4th, and it is a 1-run ball game. First one on the way. Alvarez throws that one high, and the count will go to 1-0. So a 1-0 count, no one on after the home run from Martin. That one is away, and the count now 2-0 to Wilbanks. The 2-0. Popped up, that one will go foul. On top of the batting cage and over into the corner. So now a 2-1 count here to Wilbanks. The 2-1 on the way. Off speed, swung on and missed. The count will go to 2-2. The 2-2 to Wilbanks. Ground ball, Peters will get past him. It'll be another single for Wilbanks. And that'll be Tyson Leonard as we may get a pitching change. We'll see who we see. Coach Casada did say that if Jan did run into some trouble, we could see Trey Peters over on the mound. So we'll see what Mingus has in store as we get a mound visit. Of course, the Marauders still looking for that first down. A similar inning to what we saw in the 4th here. A leadoff single from Corum, then another single from Lyons, and then Martin last time in the 4th was able to bring around both those guys on a triple. This time he brings them around on a home run into center. And then right after, Wilbanks got on. So, of course, there's a little bit different luck for Winslow after that. But the top of the order, those first 4 batters have been trouble for Alvarez here later on in this game. We'll see if he'll settle down, and a double play here would really give him a confidence boost and sort of settle down the momentum for Winslow. They're only 1 run away from tying things up and 2 away as the leading run is at the plate with Tyson Leonard. Leonard, who is hitless so far, is due. And we'll see what he can do here. No outs. Runner over at first base. Tyson Leonard, the batter, still waiting the first offering here from Alvarez. First one on the way to Leonard. The pitch. Taken off as the runner. Harrison unable to keep that one in front. And Wilbanks will head on to second base with a stolen base. And a 1-0 count to Tyson Leonard. So make Leonard it a little easier for Leonard to bring around the runner to tie things up here. He awaits the 1-0. That one is crushed into left field. Back at the wall, off. We'll see if it did hit off the wall as Smith is unable to catch it. Coming in and scoring is the tying run, Wilbanks. Leonard does his job, gets the RBI double, and we are all knotted up at 8. Smith trying to make a play on it in left field, just goes right over his head and hits the wall. Now Tegan Chacon will check in. Chacon struck out in the second, got a single in the fourth. And with a runner on second, now Winslow in a position to get the lead. First one on the way, off speed, swung on and missed. Count will go to 0-1. Marauders still looking for their first out this inning. Chacon awaiting the 0-1 offering here from Alvarez. The pitch on the way. Runs inside, and the count will go to 1-1. So a 1-1 count here to Chacon. The pitch on the way is in for a strike. Now we've got a 1-2 count here. Good opportunity for Alvarez to pick up an out and his 6th strikeout possibly. The 1-2 from Alvarez on the way. Swung on and missed for out number 1, strikeout number 6, and that throw on to first ensures the out. One down for the Marauders. Torrin Dick will step in. Torrin so far a strikeout in the 3rd and a single in the 4th inning, was stranded at first. Alvarez looking for out number 2 here, as he got Chacon, the previous batter, to strike out. Looking to do the same thing here against Torrin Dick. First one on the way. Slow chopper. Peters picks it up at 3rd. Throw on to first is in time. Leonard will stay at 2nd. Throw down to 2nd. He is safe. So 2 quick outs for Alvarez. 2 down for the Marauders. And now Chris Ariano will step in. Ariano hitless so far. Grounded out in the 3rd and grounded out in the 4th. Watches the first one in for a strike. Second offering is into center field. Leonard, we'll see if he stays at 3rd. He will. And now runners on the corners off the base hit from Ariano. And now Aiden Falla will check in. Aiden hitless so far, strikeout in 3rd. Popped up in the 4th. And runners on the corners here with Leonard at 3rd and Ariano over at 1st. Alvarez just looking for the final out of the inning. The Marauders now looking for their lead back. First offering here. In for a strike. It was 8-4 when we came into this inning, and now it is tied 8-8. A late comeback for Winslow, and the Marauders hoping to keep it tied. The 0-1 is chopped foul, and the count will go to 0-2. Now Alvarez with an opportunity here, looking for strikeout number 7. And the final out of the inning. Leonard over at 3rd. Ariano over at 1st. The 0-2 on the way to Falla. Runner's going to take off. Alvarez will step off. He'll hang on to it and let him go to 2nd. So now his attention will go back to the the batter at the plate. Alvarez working out of the full stretch. The 0-2 is high, and the count will go to 1-2. The 1-2 on the way from Alvarez. The pitch is in the dirt, kept in front by Harrison. And now a 2-2 count. Falha looking to possibly bring around 2 and get Winslow their first lead of the evening. Alvarez looking for strikeout number 7 and the third out of this inning. The 2-2 on the way. Popped up, foul. Nobody's going to make a play on it. But thankfully it will also not hit anybody, so the count will stay 2-2. And we'll try it again here. So we'll get that foul ball retrieved. 2-2 count here to Aiden Falha. Runners on second and third. Marauders looking for the final out of the inning, the 2-2. That'll go foul, we'll do it again. The 2-2 offering this time from Alvarez, looking for the final out of the inning, and it'll go foul again. Falha doing a great job battling at the plate, fouling off anything close from Alvarez. Alvarez, though, still looking for that strikeout, the 0-2. And he will get it this time, but not after a great at-bat from Falha. The final out of the inning, but the Marauders surrender their lead. We are tied 8-8 going into the bottom of the fifth. Marauders want that lead back, and there's only one way to do it. Stay with us.
From the Merkin farm to your table, from their vines to your glass, Merkin Vineyards Tasting Room and Osteria, a sense of place for extended family and community. The Merkin mission is to deliver a total sustainable Arizona experience, with fruits and vegetables family farmed in the Verde Valley and vines grown on Arizona Merkin acreage. Pastas and breads made from scratch and served with daily seasonal specials. Keep an eye out for the Merkin pizza and gelato wagons using the same local ingredients.
Balancing your family, finances, and future is a lot of responsibility. Let Jennifer Griffin and her team at State Farm help. Jennifer Griffin is an Arizona native and a Mingus graduate, as well as a third-generation State Farm agent, serving you in the same Main Street location for over 35 years. Jennifer Griffin and her team want to wish all of the Mingus athletes the best of luck this season. Go Marauders! Jennifer Griffin and State Farm Insurance, here to help life go right.
It'll be the top of the order for the Marauders as they look to get their lead back. Our score 8-8, back-to-back big innings for the Winslow Bulldogs. Got them back in this game, and now we are tied here in the bottom of the fifth inning. Want to welcome you back here to Patterson Field on the campus of Mingus Union High School. It'll be Jan Alvarez, Ben Balo, and Jace Peters, the 1-2-3 for the Marauders here in the bottom of the fifth inning. Or excuse me, it'll be Jahia Rogers. There we are. I'm totally lost on my count, apparently. So, excuse me, it'll be Jahia Rogers, then Jan Alvarez, then Ben Balo. The 1-2-3 for the Marauders here in the bottom of the fifth inning. 8-8 our score here. Rogers looking for another base hit. Found one in the third. Has hitless so far after that. First one on the way. Runs high, and the count will go to 1-0. Rogers into center field. Coming in to grab it is Lyons. He will make the catch for out number 1. And now Jan Alvarez will step up. Alvarez had a single in the first, came around to score, got on with an error in the second, then was hit by a pitch in the third. So he's looking for another base hit so far, looking to be the first base runner for the Marauders here in the fifth inning. Alvarez pops that one up again to Lyons. We'll see if he can track it down, and he will for out number 2. 2 quick outs for the Bulldogs here in the bottom of the fifth inning. And now we will see Ben Balo, who is looking for another base hit. Struck out in the first, grounded out in the second, and got on in the third. We'll see what he can do here in the fifth inning against Leonard, who is keeping the bats quiet so far for the Marauders. First one on the way to Balo is high, and the count will go to 1-0. Second offering on the way to Balo on the 1-0 count. It is in there for a strike, and the count will go to 1-1. Balo waiting the 1-1 offering here. Pitch on the way. Is in for a strike, and now the count will go to 1-2. Leonard looking for a 1-2-3 inning here in the bottom of the fifth to keep this game tied. Balo looking to keep the inning going with 2 outs. The 1-2 on the way. Balo pops that one up. We'll see if it stays in the ballpark. Dick hustling over for it and makes the catch. It is a 1-2-3 inning for the Bulldogs here in the 5th inning. We will head to the 6th. The Marauders trying to keep it tied up and get to their half of the 6th inning to get their lead back. Stay with us.
From the Glen Canyon Dam to the corner sidewalks, Salt River Materials Group, Phoenix Cement, has helped build Arizona and the Southwest since 1959. Much like the products they provide, Salt River Materials Group, Phoenix Cement, has a strong sense of community and contributes to it in meaningful ways. Phoenix Cement is considered a premier employer and community supporter and would like to thank their friendly neighbors for 6 decades of continued support. Think harder, think concrete.
The mouth is the gateway to the digestive system. Studies indicate a correlation between oral health and full body health. Regular cleanings and checkups can help protect you. New patients are welcome at Arizona Smile Designers in Cottonwood. There's a full smile worth of services all offered under one roof. Whitening and cosmetic to implants and smile reconstruction. Find out more or request an appointment online at azsmiledesigners.com.
Zane Corum will lead things off here in the top of the 6th inning. Our score 8-8 as the Marauders look to keep the Bulldog bats quiet. Corum has been anything but quiet since his first at-bat. Struck out in the 1st inning and got on with a single in the 4th, got on with a single in the 5th, scored both times, and now he's leading off here again in the 6th inning. Pitch on the way from Alvarez is in for a strike. And now a 2-1 count here to Corum. Corum awaiting the 2-1, pitch on the way, into right field, trying to track it down. They won't, it'll be another base hit. So Corum starting off this inning like he did the 4th and 5th with a base hit. And now to be Jace Lyons, who's also got 2 hits as well, both of them in the 4th and 5th inning. Struck out in the 1st. He'll stride in with a runner on first. And Jan Alvarez still on the mound for the Marauders. So Alvarez looking for a double play here. Still no damage done. Game is still tied 8-8. Corum takes a heavy lead off first base. We'll see if he takes off again to second. Pitch on the way. Pickoff move to first. Not in time. I was waiting for that move from Alvarez. Corum and a few of the other Bulldogs have taken some pretty big leads. There hasn't been too much action over at first base. First offering here to Lyons is in the dirt. Harrison will track it down, and Corum will get over for another stolen base. He'll go to second. Lyons will await the now 1-0 offering from Jan Alvarez. The 1-0 on the way here. The pitch from Alvarez. Slow chopper. Peters under his glove. Corum will go to third. Lyons will go to first. Another base hit for the Bulldogs, and that'll bring up Justice Martin, who's got a strikeout, a triple, and a home run. Both times bringing around both men who are on base. Martin hitting a huge home run in the previous inning to get the Bulldogs within 1. And Alvarez trying to keep him quiet here. Runner will take off. Alvarez will step off. He'll throw to second this time. They'll keep an eye on the runner at third. Lindsay throws over to Schamberger. Their focus will just go to second. 1 run will come in. Bulldogs now lead 9-0. He's out of the baseline, but they'll call him in. Throw down. Alvarez is gone. Picked up by the center fielder. Rogers will throw over to third. And now Lyons is just running around. Throw over to Lindsay, and they finally got him at third base. But not before the runner scores. So one down. Lyons does bring around the runner, but now nobody on for Martin. But one down for Mingus. And Martin looking to be the base runner here with one out. First one on the way from Alvarez to Martin, the pitch. Swung on and missed for strike one. The 0-1 offering here to Martin, the pitch on the way. Swung on and missed, and the count will go to 0-2. The 0-2 on the way to Martin is in the dirt. The count will go to 1-2. One-two count here to Martin. Pitch on the way. Alvarez does find the strike zone there for the second out of the inning. His 7th K tonight, or his 8th K tonight, excuse me. Second down, second out for the Marauders. Now Sonny Wilbanks will step in. Wilbanks grounded out in the second, got on with a double in the fourth and a single in the fifth, scored both times. First pitch on the way to Alvarez is away, and the count will go to 1-0. So Winslow now leading 9-8. 1-0 check swing will go foul. The count will go to 1-1. Mingus at one point was leading 8-0. And then Winslow just kept chipping away. 4 runs in the fourth, 4 runs in the fifth, and now 1 here in the sixth gives them their first lead of the evening. Harrison with a good block behind the plate. The count will go to 2-1. So now the 2-1 offering here from Alvarez. Pitch on the way. Smoked into left field. Going back on it is Smith to the wall. Did he make the catch? He did not. It's off the wall. It'll be a double for Wilbanks with 1 out. The relay throw is off the knee of Lindsay, but it stays in the infield. The runner's going to take off the third, and now Wilbanks is safe at third. So a runner at third now is Leonard. Will step in. Leonard, who got a double in the 5th inning, stranded at third base, grounded out in the second, flew out in the 4th. Looking for a base hit here to bring around another run. First one on the way to Leonard. In the dirt, blocked in front by Harrison. 1-0 count. 2 down for the Marauders, looking for that elusive third out. Has been a struggle the past 2 innings. But looking for a quicker inning here in the top of the 6th inning, only down 1. The 1-0. Leonard in the center. Jahia Rogers trying to nestle under it. He'll make the catch for the final out of the inning, but not before Winslow can get the lead. Their first lead of the evening. 9-8 our score. We'll head to the bottom of the 6th.
The Suzy Q Market is the most convenient stop for road trips with 1,500 beverage selections and plenty of snacks. And save on fuel with the Marathon Make It Count reward program. The Suzy Q drive-thru window is the most convenient way to stop for those essentials on the way home.
Road trips start here with something for everyone.
At Suzy Q.
Shop local first, always.
Go Marauders!
Lawler Construction has been a premier local builder of custom residential and commercial projects for 36 years. Using green construction methods, Lawler Construction builds efficiency into every custom design. Lawler Construction is a certified Energy Star builder. For examples, visit LawlerConstructionAZ.com. They thank you for your business confidence and continued referrals. Lawler Construction, a proud supporter of baseball and softball at all levels. Look for Lawler Construction homes at Mountain Gate and Clarkdale this summer.
Trey Peters, Zack Harrison, and Ryan Schamberger, the 1-2-3 for the Mingus Marauders as they continue to face the pitcher on the mound. That is Tyson Leonard. Leonard a 1-2-3 inning in the bottom of the 5th inning. They Bulldogs, though, leading now 9-8 as the Marauders look to get one back and a couple more after that, try to put things away in the top of the 7th inning. Or they'll be playing back from behind in the bottom of the 7th. So we'll see what happens. Very, very easy hole to climb out of, and hopefully Trey Peters can get the Marauders started. Got on with walks in the 1st and 2nd inning, flew out in the 3rd. And before the inning started, one of the Marauders told Trey, work the count. It was first pitch swinging for Alvarez, a 1-2 count for Balo, and a 1-0 count for Rogers in that last inning as Peters takes the first pitch away. And we'll see if Peters can adjust his plate appearance here. The 1-0 is away. The count will go to 2-0, or excuse me, adjust his plate discipline, I guess. But he's doing good so far. 2-0 count. The offering on the way from Leonard is popped up into center. Lyons looking to track it down. He will for out number 1. And now it'll be Zack Harrison, who's looking for his first hit of the afternoon. Got on with a walk in the 1st, flew out in the 2nd and 3rd. The varsity quarterback and starting catcher for the football and baseball team, respectively. Looking for something to drive here against Leonard. First one on the way to Harrison. Runs inside, and the count will go to 1-0. 1-0 on the way to Harrison. The pitch runs inside, and the count will go to 2-0. So similar count here to Peters. Now this time to Harrison, the 2-0. Harrison will show bunt, drop it down, but it'll go foul. Harrison trying to bunt his way aboard. Harrison waiting the 2-1 here. Pitch on the way from Leonard is high, and the count will go to 3-1. So Harrison doing a good job of working the count. Draws the 3-1 count here to Harrison. Or, excuse me, draws the 3-1 count against Leonard. 3-1 offering. That'll go foul, and the count's full. So now a 3-2 count. The payoff pitch on the way to Harrison. It'll get a walk. Now the Marauders have the tying run at first base and the leading run up at the plate in Ryan Schamberger, who's also looking for a base hit. Grounded out in the 1st, flew out in the 3rd, and popped up in the 4th. And we'll see what Sham can do with a runner on first and 1 down. Harrison's got the wheels, so something deep enough into the outfield will be enough to bring him in to score. First one on the way to Schamberger. The pitch is in for a strike. A 1 count here to Schamberger with a runner on first. The pitch on the way from Leonard is high, and the count will go to 1-1. Schamberger waiting the 1-1 count here. Again, 1 down. Harrison over at first. Got on with a walk. 1 down. Pitch pick off over to first is not in time. So 1-1 count here. The pitch to Schamberger. Harrison's going to take off. Schamberger down the line. It is foul. And now we've got a 1-2 count. So Schamberger looking to put that into fair territory. The 1-2 count. Schamberger into left. Wilbanks makes the catch for out number 2, and Harrison will have to retreat back to first. 2 down. And now Jonathan Sanchez will stride in. Sanchez, who's got 2 singles tonight and a walk, looking to keep that hot streak going. This bottom half of the lineup has been hot for the Marauders. Harrison's going to take off. He is safe at second with a stolen base. So Harrison puts himself in a better position to score here for Sanchez. Sanchez draws the 1-0 count. The 1-0 on the way to Sanchez. The pitch is high, and the count will go to 2-0. Leonard, the 2-0 offering here to Sanchez. The pitch is in for a strike, and now the count will go to 2-1. Two balls and 1 strike. Sanchez looking for something to drive here to bring in Harrison to tie things up here in the 6th. The 2-1. Sanchez watches that one away for a ball. The count will go to 3-1. So a 3-1 count here to Jonathan Sanchez with 2 outs and a runner on second. Pitch on the way. Sanchez will get on with a walk. He's got 2 tonight, 2 for 2 for Jonathan Sanchez with 2 walks, and now it'll be Ryan Lindsay, who has also been really hot so far. A single in the 2nd, single in the 3rd, came around to score both times, and got on with a walk in the 4th, and we'll see what he can do here against Leonard with runners on 2nd and 1st. The game-leading run over at first base, game tying over at 2nd. First one on the way from Leonard is in for a strike. The 0-1 count to Ryan Lindsay. The 0-1 offering in the dirt. Martin keeps it in front of him. Harrison's going to take off to third. He is out. A good dig from Martin and a late jump from Harrison. 3rd out of the inning. Marauders still down as we head to the top of the 7th. They'll look to keep the bats quiet and try to get the game winner in the bottom of the 7th inning. Stay with us.
Starting in the late 1920s, Grandpa Gettle and his brothers laid the groundwork for what would become a family legacy. Almost 100 years and 100 patents later, Gettle's High Desert Mechanical continues to raise the bar of quality heating, cooling, and plumbing products and services in the Verde Valley.
Call Gettle's High Desert Mechanical Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing at 567-2200 or online at GettlesHDM.com, providing solutions for your comfort. Don't settle. Get Gettles and go Marauders.
The most common reasons for bankruptcy are unforeseen circumstances like tragedies, illness, unemployment, and foreclosures. I'm Michael Gordon. We understand your situation and your need to look at all the alternatives. Call Gordon & Gordon for a free, non-judgmental bankruptcy or foreclosure consultation. Ask about zero-down bankruptcy options. Gordon & Gordon Attorneys at Law. Trust well placed.
It'll be Hunter Cogill on to face the Winslow Bulldogs here in the top of the 7th inning. Tegan Chacon, Torin Dick, and Chris Ariano, the 1-2-3 for the Bulldogs here in the 7th inning. Marauders down 9-8 here as we kick things off. Cogill coming in relief. We saw Cogill last time we were here on Tuesday. He allowed 2 hits in 2 innings pitched, 2 runs, 2 of them earned, 1 walk, and 1 strikeout on 20 pitches for the sophomore pitcher. Bit of a smaller sample size for Hunter, but he has been kind of a go-to reliever for Coach Quesada. Cogill coming into this game pitching-wise, he is carrying a 14 ERA, so trying to lose that. 2 appearances so far for the sophomore. And we'll see what Hunter can do. As I mentioned, it will be Chacon, Dick, and Ariano, the 1-2-3 here in the top of the 7th inning. The Marauders playing catch-up now. Came into the 4th inning carrying an 8-0 lead, and then Winslow chipped away in the 4th, got 4 runs, chipped away again in the 5th, and then brought around that leading run in the 6th inning. And now here in the 7th, we'll see what they can do against Hunter Cogill, the new pitcher for the Mingus Marauders, as the sophomore looks to keep the bats quiet. Tegan Chacon will check in. Chacon, a strikeout in the second inning. Got a single in the fourth and struck out in the fifth. And this will be his first opportunity against Cogill. First one on the way to Cogill is in the dirt, but blocked by Harrison. The count will go to 1-0. Count here. Pitch on the way. Cogill gets Chacon swinging. The count will go to 1-1. The 1-1 offering. Slow chopper. Balo trying to track it down at second. He'll let Lindsay grab it. Chacon is on with a single. And now Torrin Dick will step in. Torrin got a single in the in the fifth inning. Was stranded at second, did get a stolen base, and then grounded out in the third. Struck out in the third, got a single in the fourth, and then grounded out in the fifth. And we'll see what he can do with the runner on. 1-0 count here. Cogill takes a look at the runner at first. The 1-0 offering. Taken off is the runner. Throw down from Harrison. Got him in time. What a great throw from Harrison behind the plate to get the runner advancing. One down for the Marauders. No one on. Great throw from the catcher. Zack Harrison will take a look at it here. You can't see the runner, but he takes off, and Harrison beautifully takes that high pitch, throws it down right into the glove of Ryan Lindsay. And they're able to get the first out of the inning, and then right back over the head of the jumping Ryan Lindsay. He's going two. Sanchez will throw it down to second. It will be a double for Torrin Dick, and he'll be the only runner so far after that initial out. Whatever, one out here and a runner on second, and now Chris Ariano will step in. I should say Ryan Lindsay is over at second, and this is Jan Alvarez is over at short. We had some substitutions. Obviously, Alvarez is not on the mound anymore. First one on the way is in for a strike, and the count will go to 0-1 here to Ariano. Ariano grounded out in the third, got on with a single in the fifth, and now he has his third plate appearance here in the seventh inning with a runner on second. Looking to get a couple more insurance runs. The Bulldogs lead 9-8 as that one swung on a miss. The count will go to 0-2. Cogill looking for his first K of the afternoon and possibly out number two. Cogill, the 0-2 offering on the way. Off speed is away, gets past Harrison. Coming from second to third is Dick, and now there is a runner on third for Ariano and a 1-2 count. One-two count here with one down and a runner on third. Pitch on the way from Cogill. 1-2, check swing, foul. So Ariano strides back in here, 1-2 count. Pitch on the way from Cogill. That one is right past the diving Alvarez at short. It'll get between left and center. Rodriguez will pick it up. Ariano will go to second. It is another run for the Bulldogs. They now lead 10-8. And Aiden Falha will check in. Aiden hitless so far, a strikeout in the third, a pop-up in the fourth, and then a strikeout in the fifth. Cogill trying to keep those batting woes going with a runner on second and only one out. Mingus now down two. First one on the way to Falha is high and inside, and the count will go to 1-0. Marauders' next game will be on Friday against American Leadership Academy Queen Creek. And hopefully they'll be going into that game with a victory. Right now, a little bit of trouble. The 1-0 is fouled off. course, the Marauders will get their opportunity in the bottom half of this 7th inning, but they'll have only 3 outs to either tie it up or get the lead. And we'll see if they face Leonard to finish it out. The 1-1 on the way here. The pitch is off the umpire's mask. It goes foul. The count will go to 1-2. Just got to make sure the umpire is okay. He seems to be fine. And maybe we, as Harrison talks with Cogill, you know, I just talking a little bit more about these camouflage uniforms for Winslow. Kind of a bit of a side note here, but I was talking with Coach Griffin beforehand, and Coach Chris, one of the assistant coaches, he's over at third base. He's actually taken over the program. I told him to show me his baseball hats. We were talking about the camo uniforms and the Washington Nationals logo. And Coach Chris was saying, or Coach Griffith was saying, that there was one game they used to have the American flag on the hat, but the flag, the stars and stripes, are on the right side instead of the left side. And to everybody the naked eye, you'd think the flag is backwards. As Falha waits the 1-2, swung on and missed, and they'll call it foul. So the flag on the hat was going, you know, the stars and stripes are on the right side. The left, to the naked eye, would look like the flag's backwards. And so the game ends, and this older gentleman walks up to Coach Griffith and goes, "Coach, can I speak to you real quick?" And he goes, "Okay." And he says, "Coach, through all the times that I've ever watched baseball, only one team has ever had that flag correct. As that one is swung on and missed, it'll be a strikeout for out number 2. The only team to ever have that flag correct is your team." And they didn't have the flags on the hat today, but I thought it was a funny story to mention, and I figured at the end of the game, might as well get that pointless story out as we got 2 down here. Zane Corum, who has been a tough out for the Marauders, will step in. 3 hits in his last 3 appearances. He is 3 for 4. That's a slow roller foul, and the count will go to 0-1. It seems like Corum gets him started. Lyons moves him over, and then Martin brings him in. And Cogill trying to stop that momentum here and get out of this inning. 2 outs. And again, a runner on second. The 0-1. Off speed, runs inside, does not hit the runner, or the batter, excuse me. The count will go to 1-1. So on the 1-1 count here to Corum, Cogill just looking to get out of the inning. He steps off. The 1-1 offering from Cogill is high and inside. The count will go to 2-1. You can see Leonard at the end of the Bulldogs bench. Got his glove on and as excited as he'll ever be, is just waiting to get out there and try to shut down these Marauder bats. Meanwhile, the Marauders just trying to get out of this inning without giving up any more runs. The 2-1 on the way from Cogill. The pitch will go right past Alvarez. We will see if Ariano gets waved around to score. He will. It'll be an RBI single again for Zane Corum, his 4th hit tonight. And now the Bulldogs lead 11-8. And that'll bring up another tough out, Jace Lyons, who is also 3 for his last 3. He's got a strikeout as well in the first. 3 for 4 so far on the night. And a runner on first. We'll see if Cogill can keep him quiet. Still looking for that elusive 3rd out. Pickoff move to first, gets past Schamberger. And Corum will head over to second on the overthrow. So Lyons still awaiting the first offering here from Cogill with a runner on second base and 2 out. First one on the way. Off speed, runs inside, and the count will go to 1-0. One-0 count here to Lyons. The 1-0. Swung on a miss. Now the count will go to 1-1. Cogill looking to get ahead in the count here. Again, looking for that 3rd out. 1 ball, 1 strike. The 1-2 on the way to Lyons. The pitch. That one runs inside. They'll call it a ball. The count will go 2-2-1. So actually the count is 1-2. Cogill looking to get out of the inning on 1-2. Popped up. Sanchez trying to track it down, and Jahia Rogers unable to get it. They'll try to get the runner at second. The throw on to second is not in time. It is an RBI double for Lyons. He brings around Corum. And now to be Martin with a runner on second. And Jahia Rogers is hurt. Rogers grabbing onto that left knee. Not sure if maybe on the dive he jammed it into the grass. But he is up and moving around out in center field, or you can see there in center right field on your screen. But good to see Jahia moving around in a little bit of discomfort, but he seems to be okay, limping just slightly. You can see he was grabbing onto that left knee, or at least it looked like it, but it seems like he'll stay in center field. So another tough out here, Justice Martin. Triple in the fourth, home run in the fifth, struck out in the first and sixth. Runner on second. First one on the way from Cogill is pieced up into left field. It'll fall. Smith coming on to grab it. Smith will bobble it in the outfield. Coming in to score is Lyons, and Martin will get on with a double. It is now 13-8 here in the top of the seventh inning. And we'll get a pinch runner. It will be Caldera again, running for the catcher. And now Sonny Wilbanks will step in. First pitch on the way to Wilbanks here is popped up. It'll stay in the infield. Lindsay will track it down, and the Marauders get out of the inning, but not before they give up another 4 runs. And Winslow now leads 13-8. The Marauders have 3 runs to tie it up or win the game. We'll head to the bottom of the 7th. Stay with us.
All Price Insurance on Main Street in Cottonwood is your local insurance provider for personal and commercial insurance. Call and compare 23 insurance companies for home, health, auto, RV, motorcycle, boat, or ATV. Specialty insurance and insurance bonds are no problem at All Price Insurance. Call or visit All Price Insurance today.
Accidents happen. Red Rock Collision knows that your car is the second largest investment you're likely to make. For over 15 years, Red Rock Collision has been there to negotiate for you, the customer, not the insurance company. John and his staff promise quality repair with honesty and integrity. You can rest easy now. They'll return your car as safe as the day it was built.
Marauders find themselves down 13-8 here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Mingus looking to get the offensive part of things going here. It'll be Ryan Lindsay, Emmett Smith, and Jahia Rogers, the 1-2-3 for the Mingus Marauders. Lindsay, a base hit in the second inning, came in to score. A base hit in the third, came in to score. Got on with a walk in the fourth, and we'll see what he can do here in the bottom of the 7th inning. The Marauders have 3 outs to try to win this game. And we will see if they can do it as Lindsay strides in, looking for another base hit this afternoon. First one is high to Lindsay, and the count will go to 1-0. Lindsay looking to get on for the Marauders here. The 1-0. Is in for a strike, and the count will go to 1-1. I will say Leonard, who started out as the DH, has come in relief and pitched well as he gives the 1-1 offering into the dirt to Ryan Lindsay. So far, no runs have come around, and he has yet to give up a hit so far, I believe, if I've got this incorrectly. Maybe 1 hit and a walk, but no runs so far. 2-1 is away, and the count will go to 3-1, as Lindsay could be looking at a leadoff walk. (3-1) on the way to Lindsay. The pitch. That'll be a leadoff walk for Ryan Lindsay, his second tonight. He remains at 100% success rate on the bags, 2 hits and 2 walks. And now Emmett Smith will stride in. Base hit in the third, had a walk in the second, and grounded out in the 4th inning. We'll see what he can do with Schamberger over at first. First one on the way to Emmett Smith is away. Martin hangs on to it, and the count will go to 1-0. So a 1-0 count here to Smith with a runner on first. Pickoff move to first is not in time. Winslow will focus their attention after this game's over to Payson on Tuesday. And like I mentioned, the Marauders will have to wait till Friday for their next game against the American Leadership Academy, Queen Creek. Second pitch is in for a strike. The count will go to 1-1 now to Emmett Smith. Carter Welly will pinch hit for Jahia Rogers when he gets an opportunity. The 1-1 offering to Smith is away. Martin hangs on to it, and the count will go now to 2-1. Two-one count here to Smith. Pickoff move again, not in time. Keeping a close eye on Ryan Lindsay over at first. 2-1 on the way to Smith. The pitch. Swung on and missed. The count will go to 2-2. Two balls and 2 strikes here to Emmett Smith. Ryan Lindsay waiting on first. Here in the bottom of the 7th inning. The pitch. That'll go for ball 3. Count is full now, as Smith looks to drive something into the outfield. Carter Welly waiting on deck. Lindsay over at first. Leonard gives him a look. The 3-2. Off speed. It'll be back-to-back walks. Lindsay will go to second, and now Smith will go to first, and Carter Welly will stride in. Welly's first at-bat this evening. Coming in for Jahia Rogers, who took a little bit of a spill out in center field. And we'll see what Carter Welly can do. Welly coming into this game looking for his first hit of the season in 4 at-bats so far. Small sample size for Carter. But we'll see what the seniors got this time around. We had a pitching change here as Leonard will go to third. And a new pitcher for the Bulldogs. It'll be Torrin Dick on the mound as Leonard goes to third. We'll let him warm up. We'll take a quick break. Stay with us.
From the Merkin farm to your table, from their vines to your glass, Merkin Vineyards Tasting Room and Osteria, a sense of place for extended family and community. The Merkin mission is to deliver a total sustainable Arizona experience, with fruits and vegetables family farmed in the Verde Valley and vines grown on Arizona Merkin acreage. Pastas and breads made from scratch and served with daily seasonal specials. Keep an eye out for the Merkin pizza and gelato wagons using the same local ingredients.
Balancing your family, finances, and future is a lot of responsibility. Let Jennifer Griffin and her team at State Farm help. Jennifer Griffin is an Arizona native and a Mingus graduate, as well as a third-generation State Farm agent, serving you in the same Main Street location for over 35 years. Jennifer Griffin and her team want to wish all of the Mingus athletes the best of luck this season. Go Marauders! Jennifer Griffin and State Farm Insurance, here to help life go right.
Carter Welly will face off against Torrin Dick. Dick did get an opportunity to pitch against Alchese on Tuesday, 3 innings pitched, 1 hit, 2 runs, 1 walk, and 6 strikeouts for the junior pitcher. We'll see what he can do here against Carter Welly. 2 men on. Ryan Lindsay at second, Emmett Smith over at first. No outs for the Marauders. We'll see what Carter Welly can do against the new pitcher. First one on the way. Swung on and missed for strike 1. A 1 count here to Welly from Dick. The pitch on the way. Pickoff move to second is not going to warrant a throw from the pitcher. And the count will remain 0-1. Welly still waiting the 0-1 offering. Pitch on the way. Off speed is high, and the count will go now 1-1. Marauders down 5. Looking to possibly bring around 2 to cut into that deficit. 1-1 on the way. The pitch. Swung on and missed. The count will now go to 1-2. The 1-2. Welly swung on and missed. First out of the inning, first strikeout for Torrin Dick of this game. And now it will be the top of the order in Jan Alvarez. Alvarez got a single in the first inning, got on with an error in the second, hit by a pitch in the third, and then flew out in the fifth. We'll see what he can do here against the new pitcher with 1 out. First one on the way to Alvarez. Is low and away for a ball. The count will go to 1-0. 1-0 on the way here to Alvarez. The pitch is high, and the count will go to 2-0. So Alvarez looking to get on with a walk or possibly a base hit. 2-0 count, in a good position here to do something interesting. Pitch on the way. 2-0. Runs inside. Now the count will go to 3-0. So Alvarez is going to be very choosy. And of course, Torrin on the mound. Going to want to throw something close to maybe get Alvarez to swing on 3-0. Alvarez is going to have to be very patient. The 3-0 offering. He lets it go in for a strike, and Torrin did just that. He offered him something, and Alvarez said no thank you. So now a 3-1 count here to Jan Alvarez. Looking to get the Marauders their first run since the third inning. The 3-1. It'll be a walk. Bases are loaded. Lindsay will go to third. Smith will head over to second, and now Ben Balo will stride in. Balo hitless so far, and what a time to get his first. One out here, and runners on every base. First pitch on the way to Balo is in for a strike. Balo waiting the 0-1 offering here. Pitch on the way. That one's high, and the count will go to 1-1. 1-1 count here to Balo. Peters waiting on deck. Bases loaded. The 1-1. That one's high and inside. Now the count will go to 2-1. So Balo here with an opportunity. We'll see what Torrin offers him here with a 2-1 count. Lindsay at third, Smith at second, and Alvarez over at first. The 2-1 offering on the way to Balo. The pitch. Off speed is in for a strike. Now the count will go to 2-2. Two-two count here. Balo trying to give something a ride. The pitch on the way. Off speed, right past third and short. Lindsay will come in to score. Smith will stay at third. The Marauders get their first run since the third inning. And now we're starting to cook a little bit. Ben Balo finding his first base hit, and what a time to get it. Bases are loaded now for Trey Peters. And Peters represents now the tying run at the plate. First one on the way from Torrin with bases loaded and 1 out. Peters watches the first one high, and the count will go to 1-0. And this is sort of the benefit that Mingus has here, and I'll explain why here after this pitch. The 1-0 on the way to Peters is in for a strike. The reasoning being is that if Torrin runs into some trouble, I was talking with Coach Griffith before, they've got games coming up here this week, and they want to use guys like Torrin in those region games. So if Mingus here on the 1-1, if Peters watches that one away, if Mingus can start to chip away a little bit and get Torrin's pitch count up, it's going to put a lot of pressure on Coach Griffith to make a decision if he wants to let him keep pitching or go with another guy, because they probably want to use Torrin for a region game. The 2-1. That one's in for a strike. Nice off-speed pitch there from Torrin on the mound. And now Peters, a 2-2 count. Looking for something to drive here. Going to have to protect with the bases loaded. The 2-2. Off-speed is foul. Now the count will go and remain, at 2-2. So Mingus has got to be they got to be patient at the plate and start to work these counts higher and higher for Torrin. But we'll see what Peters can do here on the 2-2. In the dirt, the count will go full. Ball is in front of Martin. Full count here to Trey Peters. Peters looking for something close here. Can he capitalize on a mistake with bases loaded? Or will Torrin walk in a run? We'll see what happens. The 3-2. He'll do it. Smith will walk in and score. Peters will go to first. Alvarez will go to third, and Balo will go to second. And it'll be Zack Harrison with bases loaded and an opportunity to tie things up, as now Harrison is the game-winning run at the plate. Just looking for something to hit. Harrison is hitless so far. Couple flyouts and 2 walks. First one on the way is high and away. The count will go to 1-0. Ryan Schamberger waiting on deck. The 1-0 is in the dirt. Past Martin. Coming in and scoring is Alvarez. And the Marauders are now down 11-3. Alvarez advancing on the pass ball. And now Mingus inching closer and closer to getting their lead back. As now the tying run goes from first to second, making it a little easier for Harrison to bring both of them around. Harrison, a 2-2 count. Pitch on the way. That's high, and the count will go full. That's a 3-0 count. Count will now go to 3-0 here on Harrison. With runners on second and third. The pitch, Harrison's going to go bunt, pull back, he'll get walked, bases are loaded again. And now Ryan Schamberger, who's looking for his first base hit, could get it here. We'll see if it's going to be against Torrin Dick or a different pitcher. And as I mentioned, here is that pressure as Coach Griffith has to walk back to the mound and make a decision here. Is he going to go? He's going to go with a different arm. Mingus chipping away here, looking for the lead. We'll get a new pitcher on the mound. I believe that is the second baseman, or the shortstop. That is Zane Corum. See if we've seen Zane on the mound before. Zane has pitched in 2 appearances, has a 2.33 ERA, the senior. So he has had a couple opportunities for Coach Griffith, but not too many of them. However, he is pretty successful. Batters are not even batting 100 against him so far. I mean, granted, it's only a short sample size, but that's pretty good. So we'll see if Schamberger can be the difference maker here, looking to bring around 2. Still only 1 out, as it's 13-11. Peters represents the tying run at second base. Harrison, the game-winning one, at third. And Schamberger, if he hits something deep enough, could at the very least bring around 2. Of course, it's got to be real deep to bring Harrison from first all the way in. So Ryan will just have to be patient and try to take something deep into the outfield against a pretty tough pitcher here in Zane Corum. All right, here we go. Ryan Schamberger with bases loaded and 1 out. He'll await the first offering from the new pitcher, Zane Corum. First one on the way. That one is away. Martin does a great job of keeping it in the glove. And the count will go to 1-0. Schamberger doesn't have to do too much. Right in between the outfielders or past one of the infielders should be enough to bring in 1 or 2. 1-0 on the way to Sham. Watches that one in for a strike. 1-1 count. Pitch on the way. Corum gives him the high fastball, and Schamberger bites, and the count will go to 1-2.
Anything close, baby. Anything close.
1-2 count here to Schamberger. Pitch on the way from Corum. Over to third, under the glove of Leonard. Coming in and scoring is Balo. Peters will stay at third. It's going to go under the glove of the left fielder, and we are all tied up at 13. The Marauders are able to tie it up here late. Peters comes in and scores. Balo comes in and scores. Harrison now at third. Sham gets on at second. And Mingus with an opportunity. And Jonathan Sanchez could bring in the game-winning run here with a base hit. The Marauders fighting their way back. First one on the way to Sanchez. The senior looking to play hero. The pitch. In for a strike. 0-1 count here to Sanchez. Pitch on the way from Corum with 1 out. Sanchez watches that one away. Martin hangs on to it. We are all knotted up at 13. The 1-1 on the way to Sanchez. The pitch. Swung on and missed for strike 2. Ryan Lindsay waiting on deck. A part of this bottom half of the lineup that has been solid for Mingus. We'll see if it'll be Sanchez. 1-2 count, only 1 out here. The pitch. That one is in the dirt. Count will go to 2-2. The 2-2 on the way. Sanchez fouls that one off, and the count will remain 2-2. Doesn't need to do much. A deep fly ball will be enough to bring around Harrison to score. Sanchez awaiting the 2-2 here from Corum with runners on third and second. 1 out, the pitch. Swung on and missed. Martin throws it over to first, gets the out at first, 2 down here. And now it'll be up to Ryan Lindsay. With runners on third and second, Lindsay able to get on with a walk to start things off here in the 7th. We will see what he can do here. 2 for 2 so far. Lindsay just looking for something close. First one on the way. That one runs inside, and the count will go to 1-0. 1-0 count here. Pitch on the way. Lindsay watches that one in for a strike. Count will go to 1-1. The 1-1. Lindsay watches that one away, and the count will go to 2-1. Two-one count, big hole between second and first. We'll see if Lindsay can put it there. The 2-1. Off speed, runs inside, and the count will go to 3-1. Not a bad spot from Corum. Does not go his way. 3-1 count here to Lindsay with Emmett Smith waiting on deck. The 3-1 to Lindsay. Lindsay fouls that one off, and now the count is full. 2 down for the Marauders. Runners at third and second. Harrison representing the game-winning run. Lindsay. 3 balls and 2 strikes. There is a free base over at first. We'll see what happens here. Corum, the payoff pitch with 2 outs. That one is away. Lindsay's on. Bases are loaded for Emmett Smith. Smith a single in the 3rd inning, a walk in the 2nd, and a walk in the 7th. Also a ground out in the 4th. He's scored every time he's been on. First one on the way to Smith is in for a strike. Smith awaiting the 0-1 offer here from Corum. Bases loaded, 2 outs, the 0-1. That one is one and 1 count. The home plate umpire not too happy with some of the calls here. But again, not a bad spot for Corum to miss. I thought it was a strike. I thought I heard hook, but it was a ball. So now a 1-1 count here to Emmett Smith. Again, bases loaded. Smith looking for something to drive here. The 1-1. Smith watches that one in for a strike, and now the count will go to 1-2. Smith awaiting the 1-2 here from Corum with 2 outs. The pitch runs inside. Now the count will go to 2-2. Smith is going to have to swing at anything close. 2-2 count, game-winning run on 3rd. All he's got to do is put it into the outfield or get it under the glove of somebody, and it'll be over. We'll see what he can do here. The 2-2. Swung on and missed. Picked up by Martin. Harrison's got to come in and score. That's it. We'll head to extras. We will head to the top of the 8th inning. We've got some extra baseball for you here at Patterson Field. We're all tied up at 13. Stay with us.
From the Glen Canyon Dam to the corner sidewalks, Salt River Materials Group, Phoenix Cement, has helped build Arizona and the Southwest since 1959. Much like the products they provide, Salt River Materials Group, Phoenix Cement, has a strong sense of community and contributes to it in meaningful ways. Phoenix Cement is considered a premier employer and community supporter and would like to thank their friendly neighbors for 6 decades of continued support. Think harder, think concrete.
The mouth is the gateway to the digestive system. Studies indicate a correlation between oral health and full body health. Regular cleanings and checkups can help protect you. New patients are welcome at Arizona Smile Designers in Cottonwood. There's a full smile worth of services all offered under one roof. Whitening and cosmetic to implants and smile reconstruction. Find out more or request an appointment online at azsmiledesigners.com.
Ryan Schamberger will move from first base to the mound for the Mingus Marauders as we head to the top of the 8th inning. Our score 13-13 here at Patterson Field. Schamberger, a 15 ERA so far, trying to bring that down. 4 2/3 innings pitched, 9 hits so far allowed, 10 earned runs, 11 walks, and 4 strikeouts for the junior first baseman, who is now on the mound for Mingus. He'll get an opportunity to face Tyson Leonard, Tegan Chacon, and Torin Dick, the 1-2-3 for the Winslow Bulldogs, as the Marauders look to win it here in the 8th inning, but they got to keep the bats quiet of Winslow. They have been solid so far of late. Since the 4th inning, they have been able to bring around 13 runs, and Thanks to the resilience of Mingus, this game is still going as we're tied at 13. And now we'll see what Ryan Schamberger's got as Tyson Leonard will stride in. Leonard's 1 for 4 so far. A double in the 5th inning, was stranded at 3rd. And we'll see what Schamberger can do against the bottom half of the order here for the Bulldogs. First one on the way. Schamberger starts Leonard off with a strike, and the count will go to 0-1. Oh, 1 count on the way here. Pitch from Schamberger. That one's high, and now the count will go to 1-1. The 1-1. That one runs inside, and now the count will go to 2-1. Two balls and 1 strike here to Leonard. A 2-1 offering from Schamberger is in the dirt, and the count will go to 3-1. Three-1 count on the way. That'll be a leadoff walk for Leonard. And it'll bring up Tegan Chacon. Chacon a single in the 4th, a single in the 7th, and struck out in the 2nd and the 5th inning. And they'll get a courtesy runner for the pitcher, or I should say the DH. They'll get some more speed on the bag. Caldera will check in again. Schamberger work out of the stretch, and Chacon will step in. Mingus looking for a double play here early on in the top of the 8th inning. Chacon awaiting the first offering here. We'll see if Caldera takes off from first. He won't this time. That pitch is low, but scooped up by Harrison, and the count will go to 1-0. One-0 count with a runner on first. The pitch on the way, and Schamberger will step off. Won't warrant a throw. 1-0 count here. Pitch on the way from Schamberger. That one is away, and the count will go to 2-0. So now a 2-0 count to Chacon with a runner over at first and no outs. Pickoff move to first is not in time. The 2-0. Popped up into center. Trying to track it down and unable to get it is the center fielder for the Marauders, and that would be Jonathan Sanchez, unable to make the catch out in center, and now it'll be a base hit for Chacon. Caldera will head to second, and the leading run is at second base with Torrin Dick stepping up. Torrin a strikeout in the 3rd, single in the 4th inning, grounded out in the 5th, and got on with a double in the 7th. Double play still a possibility for the Marauders, and if we're lucky, maybe a triple play. First one on the way to Dick is in there for a ball. One 0 count on the way. The pitch is in for a strike, and then now the count will go to 1-1. Schamberger will call time and talk to his catcher. The 2 juniors, they'll be back on the roster next season. 1-1 count here to the batter, Torn Dick. Caldera over at second. Chacon over at first. No outs for the Marauders as they look for their first. 1-1 count on the way. The pitch. Ground ball up the middle. Alvarez unable to grab it. Caldera will come in and score. And Chacon will stay at third. Winslow leads 14-13. And now we will see Chris Ariano. Ariano a single in the fifth, a single in the seventh, and a ground out in the third. Mingus still looking for that double play and still looking for out number one. First pitch on the way to Ariano. Taken off as the runner. Throw down to second is not in time as it's cut off by Alvarez. So Torren goes from first to second. And Ariano awaits the second offering here. The pitch. That one's high. 1-1 count here. Runners on third and second. Winslow now leading 14-13, the 1-1. That one's high. Count will go to 2-1. Two-1 count. Pitch on the way to Ariano. That one's away. 3-1. The 3-1. That one finds the strike zone. Now the count's full. Three balls and two strikes here to Ariano. Schamberger looking for out number one, the payoff pitch. That'll go foul. So the count remains 3 balls and 2 strikes. The pitch on the way from Schamberger. Swung on and missed for the first out of the inning. Schamberger's first K of the night. One down for Mingus. And steps Aiden Falha. Aiden so far hitless. 3 strikeouts and a pop-up. And we'll see if Schamberger can continue his woes at the plate. First one on the way is in the dirt, but blocked in front by Harrison. The count will go to 1-0. One ball, no strike here. The 1-0. Does find the strike zone. The count will go to 1-1. One count on the way. The pitch. Swung on and missed. Now the count will go to 1-2. Schamberger looking for possibly strikeout number 2 and out number 2 for Mingus. And then he'll have a tough battle against the 1-2-3-4 for Winslow. The 1-2. Off speed is popped up. It'll stay in the ballpark. Harrison looking to track it down. Schamberger calls him off and makes the catch. And now it'll be Zane Corum who came in relief. Struggled a little bit, but at the plate he has been absolutely on fire. His last 4 at-bats have resulted in hits. They've all resulted in him coming around to score. And we'll see what he can do here in the 8th. First one is into left, and he'll do just that one more time for Winslow. Bring around both runners. Corum going to stay at first, and he slips, but he's safe. 2 runs come around, and Winslow has given themselves a better opportunity here in the bottom half of the 8th. But here in the top, they lead 16-13. And now it'll be Jace Lyons, who has also been hitting well. 4 for his last 4, has come around to score except one time in the 6th. Marauders again looking for that elusive final out of the inning. Schamberger steps off. He knows Corum's going to take off to second at some point. Corum's already got 2 stolen bases. Lyons awaiting the first offering. Pitch on the way. Corum will stay at first. Harrison will hang on to it. Count will go to 1-0. Now, of course, despite if Corum takes off, Schamberger's focus has got to be on the batter. Doesn't really matter if Corum gets over at second. You have 2 outs. Runner's going to take off. They're going to throw down to second. Corum is out. That'll end the inning. Marauders have a little bit of ground to make up. They are currently down 16-13. We'll head to the bottom of the 8th. Mingus has got 3 outs to do it.
The Suzy Q Market is the most convenient stop for road trips with 1,500 beverage selections and plenty of snacks. And save on fuel with the Marathon Make It Count reward program. The Suzy Q drive-thru window is the most convenient way to stop for those essentials on the way home.
Road trips start here with something for everyone.
At Suzy Q.
Shop local first, always.
Go Marauders!
Lawler Construction has been a premier local builder of custom residential and commercial projects for 36 years. Using green construction methods, Lawler Construction builds efficiency into every custom design. Lawler Construction is a certified Energy Star builder. For examples, visit LawlerConstructionAZ.com. They thank you for your business confidence and continued referrals. Lawler Construction, a proud supporter of baseball and softball at all levels. Look for Lawler Construction homes at Mountain Gate and Clarkdale this summer.
Well, the Mingus Marauders find themselves down 16-13 here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Carter Welly will lead things off as you see that great throw from Zack Harrison to get the runner out. Or excuse me, that was actually Jan Alvarez who stepped off and was able to get the runner at second. But Mingus able to get out of the inning. They will continue to face the pitcher Zane Corum. Corum so far has, he surrendered the lead in the bottom of the 7th inning, and now here in the bottom of the 8th, he is in that position once again to try to close things out with a 3-run lead, and Carter Welly will look to start things off for the Marauders. It'll be Welly, Alvarez, and Belo, the 1-2-3 for Mingus here in the 8th inning. They've got 3 outs to either tie it up or win it. Welly awaits the first offering here from Corum, the pitch. And it's high and inside, the count will go to 1-0. 1-0 count here to Welly. Pitch on the way. That one runs inside, and the count will go to 1-1. In there for a strike, I should say, not inside, but Welly looking for his first base hit. Struck out in the 7th inning to lead things off, and we'll see what he can do here. The 1-1 runs inside, and the count will go to 2-1. 2-1 count here to Carter Welly. He leads things off, looking to be the first base runner for the Marauders. They're down by 3. The 2-1 is in for a strike. Now the count will go to 2-2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Corum looking for the first out of the inning. Welly looking to get on. That'll run high and inside. The count will go to 3-2. 3-2 count here to Welly. The pitch on the way from Corum. Foul. Welly awaiting the 3-2 here from Corum. The pitch is low, and Welly will get on with a walk. A leadoff walk for Carter Welly will bring up Jan Alvarez. Alvarez a single on the first. Got on with an error in the second, hit by a pitch in the third, flew out in the fifth, and got on with a walk and scored in the seventh inning. And we'll see what Jan can do here with a runner on first. Pitch on the way. In for a strike. Oh, 1 count here. Corum's 0-1 offering here to Alvarez on the way, the pitch. Alvarez check swing, gets past the catcher. Welly will go from first to second, and he's in scoring position. And an 0-2 count here to Alvarez. Jan looking for something to drive here. 0-2 count with no outs. Welly on second. Welly will step off. He will not throw. 0-2 count. Pitch on the way. Alvarez right up the middle. It'll be a base hit. Welly will round third. He will stay there, and Alvarez will go to first. A base hit for Jan Alvarez gets Carter Welly to third base and brings up Ben Balo. Balo, a single in the seventh, his only hit so far, did come around to score. Brought around Jan Alvarez to score, and we'll see if he can get on here. Welly on third and Alvarez over at first with no out. Balo waiting the first pitch here. Alvarez is going to get back safely to first base. Balo still waiting the first offering here from Corum. We'll see if Alvarez takes off from first to second, add a little pressure here. First pitch on the way. Alvarez stays, and that one's in the dirt. Count will go to 1-0. We'll see if Mingus can maybe have Alvarez take off from first to second to try to warrant a throw from Martin, and maybe bring in Welly on the throw. We'll see what happens. 1-0 count here. Alvarez again safe at first off the pickoff move. One-0 count. Balo looking to be the difference maker. He is the tying run at the plate. The 1-0. In the dirt. Count will go to 2-0. Trey Peters waiting on deck. So now a 2-0 count here to Balo with runners on third and first. The pitch. That hits him. So Balo will get on. Balo takes one in the back and everyone starts cheering. So Alvarez will go to second. Balo will go over to first and try to walk off that sting. He'll be all right though. And now Trey Peters will stride in. Peters looking for a base hit here. He's the game-winning run. Looking for something close. Maybe try to drive it over the wall. Welly at third, Alvarez at second, Balo at first. First offering on the way to Peters. With bases loaded and no outs. Peters watches the first one in for a strike. Oh, 1 count now. The offering. That one is low, and the count will go to 1-1. Mingus was able to chip away last inning. Let's see if they can do it again here in the 8th. The 1-1. Peters watches that one away, and the count will go to 2-1. Now the 2-1 count here to Trey Peters. Pitch on the way. Peters watches that one in for a strike, and now it'll bring up 2-2. Peters, the 2-2 offering from Corum. It got him looking for out number 1. And now it'll be Zack Harrison with bases loaded. Harrison looking for his first hit tonight. Bases loaded. First one on the way to Harrison, the pitch. Watches that one in for a strike. Harrison now awaiting the 0-1. Watches back-to-back strikes.
Hey, Zach, listen right now.
0-2 count. Pitch on the way from Corum with bases loaded. Harrison, it'll go foul. With such a random strike zone, Harrison's going to have to protect with anything close. We'll see what he gets on 0-2. Corum, the windup and the pitch. That one's away, and the count will go to 1-2. One ball, two strikes here. Harrison again going to have to protect on anything close. One down, the 1-2. Harrison into center. Coming over the head. Coming in and scoring is Willie. Coming around to score is Alvarez. Here comes Balo for the win. Balo rounds home. The Marauders get the victory as Harrison walks it off with a home run. The Marauders break their losing streak and get a big victory from their catcher. What a comeback win for Mingus. Wow. How about that? A walk-off for the fans here at home. 17, or I guess you could say 18 with Harrison coming in and scoring. No, it's 17. And 17-16. Harrison walks it off for the Marauders. We'll wrap things up here as Mingus gets the victory in extras.
Starting in the late 1920s, Grandpa Gettle and his brothers laid the groundwork for what would become a family legacy. Almost 100 years and 100 patents later, Gettle's High Desert Mechanical continues to raise the bar of quality heating, cooling, and plumbing products and services in the Verde Valley.
Call Gettle's High Desert Mechanical Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing at 567-2200 or online at GettlesHDM.com, providing solutions for your comfort. Don't settle, get Gettles, and go Marauders.
The most common reasons for bankruptcy are unforeseen circumstances like tragedies, illness, unemployment, and foreclosures. I'm Michael Gordon. We understand your situation and your need to look at all the alternatives. Call Gordon & Gordon for a free, non-judgmental bankruptcy or foreclosure consultation. Ask about zero-down bankruptcy options. Gordon & Gordon Attorneys at Law. Trust well placed.
Well, in case you missed it, it was a walk-off inside the park home run for Zack Harrison, and the Marauders had a big lead in the beginning, gave it up, found themselves losing in extras, tied it up, and they won the game. And what a victory for the Marauders, and what a confidence booster for this team going forward. There's only a few more games left on the season, but this is a good one for Mingus. And they got the victory. It was not pretty, but it was a win, and what a great win it was. On the opposite side, though, Winslow, very impressive for them, I got to say. They came into the fourth inning down 8-0. It looked like we were going to probably wrap things up in the fifth. And then it was Corum, Lyons, Martin, and Wilbanks in that order, getting on and getting over and getting in, and they cut the deficit to 4. We head to the fifth. They bring in another 4. They tie things up. They keep Mingus quiet. They bring in another run to get the lead. They tack on a few more then, but both teams clawing their way back and forth in this game. Winslow will focus their attention tomorrow against Payson, whereas the Marauders will wait till Friday to take on American Leadership Academy Queen Creek. We will have softball for you as the Marauders take on Greenway in what is to be possibly the rubber match of the century. You are not going to want to miss that one as Alexis Ayresman will be on the mound for the Marauders on Wednesday. Catch that right here on Verde Valley TV. Mingus versus Greenway. For everybody here at Verde Valley TV, I'm Philip Katafama, wishing you a great rest of your night, and we will see you on Wednesday for softball.